The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
You know, people think I'm into sports just because I'm a man. I'm not into sports. I mean, I like Gatorade. That's about as far as it goes. And by the way, you don't have to be sweating and holding a basketball to enjoy a Gatorade. You can just be a thirsty dude.
My body is bad at sports. That's the problem. I say that my body is bad at sports because I think my brain is good at sports. Like, I think my brain understands how a human being could, like, dribble down a basketball court and then make a layup. But then it has to outsource the job to my weird and feminine limbs. And so when I play basketball, it looks like I just bought my body and I don't know how it works yet.
Now I'd like to share some of my favorite Add a Word, Ruin a Sports Team responses from you guys. This first one's from @Centro Wingdman. He says, the San Jose Loan Sharks. All right. This one's from Susan Avila. She says, the Denver Chicken Nuggets. This one's from Oren R. Martin. He says, the Houston Snot Rockets. This one's from @Raflo Cruz 99. She says, the Charlotte Murder Hornets. There you go, everybody. Those are our hashtags.
Let's get this show on the road.
Oh, yeah, we gonna talk sports.
Let's do it. Showtime.
Music has been taken out of this portion of the Half-Ass Morning Show podcast for licensing reasons.
You know that it's against everything I believe in to talk over this song.
I understand. It's like talking over something patriotic.
It is. Very similar. Is it Huey Lewis's birthday?
No, it's a National Sports Day.
Sports Day.
And
so
so
the
record sports,
was called,
walking on a thin line.
Right, Jesus.
Side 2, track 1.
What would you say is your strongest sport, Josh?
Well, water sports. My wife and I, we've been married a long time. She said, let's try something new.
Let's get the plastic sheet.
And I said, that's perfect, because I got to go.
You got to mix it up sometimes,
Good
Josh.
for you. Water sports, he said.
I'm pretty good with the shuttlecock. I can play badminton all right.
Badminton.
Ping pong, I'm okay.
Sure.
Oh, what?
Paddle sports.
Yeah, I can...
I've seen you play pickleball.
I can catch well. Whether that being a baseball or a football, I cannot throw.
Not much of a thrower.
I mean, it's to the point where, so my youngest has played football since he was able to, and, a lot of times the dads will warm up their sons with throwing. I try and go to a place that is hidden just a little bit, because it takes me like 15 throws to make it not embarrassing, but even so, nobody's going to look at me and go, that guy has thrown a football before. They're going to assume I've never touched one.
Hey, son, let's go behind this shed where none of the other dads can see me.
Essentially, that's it. So I just tell them, well, I'm challenging you.
We've known each other a long time. I've seen you throw baseballs, softballs, footballs. And, you were never taught the proper fundamentals.
No, my dad never played catch with me. It's not his fault.
No, you were never taught the proper fundamentals.
No one would let me play quarterback. We played football almost every day as kids. And, there wasn't MTV when I was real little. There wasn't Xboxes and iPads and all that kind of stuff. You guys play with Dana and Ashley and Wapple. But so we would play football every day. And I could never be the quarterback, as much as I wanted to be.
They wouldn't let you?
No, it was so bad.
I'm sorry, Josh.
So National Sports Day.
What makes today National Sports Day? What's so special about September 29th, or August 29th?
I have no idea who decides on these days.
Yeah,
Not
I don't
a
know.
clue.
I think they just kind of run out of ideas.
Yeah, I think they have one big committee and they just kind of throw things out there.
That's fun.
Right. Huey Lewis in the News, the song Walking on a Thin Line from the record sports.
That's right.
God. What a great record.
You made the connection. I knew somebody would make the connection.
Oh, I couldn't. You had to explain it to me because I'm a stupid idiot.
You're not a stupid idiot.
Here we go. By the way, let me tell you, welcome to the 93X Half-Fast Morning Show. Thank you very much for listening.
Would your sport be Pop-A-Shot? Would you say that's what you're the best at?
Pop-A-Shot, basketball, I do feel like I'm probably the best there's ever been. But if we're going to sit here and list off all the sports that I believe I'm top-notch at, we're going to be here for a while.
Well, we've got till 9.
We're going to be here for a while.
Any odd sports? I mean, maybe you could throw a Pop-A-Shot in there a little bit.
Yeah, Pop-A-Shot would be odd. But,
pool? Does that count?
Do we count pocket billiards?
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Well,
Yeah.
then I feel like I'm an up-and-coming talent in the local pocket billiard scene.
You know, I must say, not to besmirch anyone, but Ashley, I thought you'd be better. When we were playing at Nick's house, I thought, oh man, Ashley might wipe the floor with people, and you did not.
She talked a lot of trash going into it. Now, it was only a couple games that we played.
Yeah, I'd like to think that I'm better than what I showed
Everybody
at Nick's house.
has an off night, Ashley.
Were you nervous?
Extremely nervous. Yeah.
Okay, that makes a difference.
You were nervous. Everybody has an off night. I'm willing to give you many more chances. I love to play pocket billiards. You're welcome to come over and play anytime, because I do believe I didn't see your best that evening. But you kind of stepped in it because you talked a hell of a lot of trash.
Yeah, you did. And you're in, how many leagues were you in? Was it just one? Or?
She's in multiple.
I was in 2 at the time.
2, and you were playing like whole weekends.
Yeah.
She's playing $100 a ball at shady roadhouses in Wisconsin. I thought coming into it, when we had a billiard night at my house a few months ago, I thought, I might be up against a real deal here when you walked in because of all the noise you were making.
I thought so too. I thought she was going to dominate.
That's funny you talk about you can catch, Josh, but you can't necessarily throw. It reminds me of my beer league softball career, many, many years in beer league softball. 11 division championships. Even though our manager always says he thinks we even had more than that. I remember 11 division championships. But anyway, you know how it goes in beer league softball. Eventually, guys get married and have kids or punk out altogether. And towards the end of our run, our last couple years, you're scrambling to get guys. We need a guy to play outfield. Someone make a few phone calls. We had one guy on the club who, we just needed a live body, and this was a buddy of mine. I knew he wasn't much of an athlete, but we didn't care. We just needed a live human being. Number one, he shows up. It's always fun when you're warming up out on the ball field and you're wondering, okay, where's this guy that we invited? Game's in 10 minutes, and then you see him walking down the path towards the right. He comes walking down the path towards the ballpark, and I tell our team, he's here, you guys, don't worry. The guy I invited is here. As he gets closer, I notice he's wearing blue jeans.
Oh, no.
And work boots.
Oh, perfect.
And he has a utility knife in his back pocket. Doesn't have a glove. Doesn't have a ball cap on. He's coming fresh from work, right? But maybe he had to be there, but he said this. And some of the guys on the club didn't know him. Some guys did. So he knows he looks completely out of place. I didn't have time to go home and put on a pair of Cubbies gym shorts. I didn't have time to. He says to the club, I can't hit and I can't throw, but I do believe I can catch. So we put him at catcher, and he was 100% accurate with his statement.
Yeah, see, that comes in handy.
And he had the knife hanging out his back pocket in the top of the first inning. The umpire had to say, I can't let you sit here behind the plate with a buck knife in your back pocket. He had to throw that on the bench. Oh, sorry about that, ump. He went 0 in his career. 0. I don't think some bitch never got on base. But he was a hell of a fun guy to hang out with, so we loved him having him on the ball club. Oh, man. Let me tell you something, Cubby. Light of my life. If I have to get up out of my chair and fetch anything today during our program, I may need to use you as a spotter, because my legs are dog feces right now.
Oh, from the fair yesterday?
You're at the fair.
I forgot.
That walking up and down and all around the state fair is a young man's game.
What was the highlight?
Oh, we went into the Coliseum and just sat down. That's still one of my favorite things to do when I go to the fair. Just walk into the Coliseum, take a seat, and God knows what kind of program might be put on for you. Last year we got to see those like mini horse chariot races.
Yeah, I saw that. That was awesome.
And I know there's a different term for it, but one individual sits down in a tiny little wagon and they got a tiny little horse, and you guys have seen that before?
No, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, that was last year. This year we got to see full Clydesdale teams.
Oh, awesome.
Showing their, what the Clydesdales can do driving. We got one guy driving and one guy navigating, and they do a figure eight. The full Clydesdale teams was a highlight, I think, of yesterday. That stuff is very impressive.
Clydesdales, those are...
Those things are huge.
Yeah,
Yeah, they are.
Exactly. Like the line outside of Dana's mom's bedroom. Huge. Hard to believe. You got to see it in person.
If any horse snobs want to get on my case, let me just say this out loud and save you a text message. Maybe they were all not technically Clydesdales. Some of them were this type of... But they were the big sumbitches. You know what I'm talking about? And they wear the decorative... thing. What do they call the thing that goes around?
Singlet.
The
horse thing.
The thing that the things that you wrap around a horse in order to connect it to the driver.
A saddle?
No, not a saddle, you friggin' idiot.
Oh, whoops.
It's the...
What's wrong with these 6-1 tours?
I don't know. What are you talking about? Don't come at me with saddle.
I would think
The
that's
reins?
something you put on a horse that connects the rider would be a saddle.
That's silly.
Yeah, well, you're wrong. Folks know what I'm talking about. And then, here's the thing, Cubby. It got to be a lot hotter than I expected yesterday.
Oh, no. Oh, I did notice that, actually. It started out really nice, and then I went outside about, 2 or 3, and I was like, ugh, what happened
I
out
mowed
here?
the lawn yesterday and regretted it.
Oh, it got to be much hotter than I expected. Much hotter than I expected. That was part of the challenge for me. So, but I put in a not the people are a harness. That's it, a harness.
There you go.
Yes, a harness.
People are texting in reins, not the reins. I know the harness.
A bridle?
Well, no, that's the thing that goes in the yap, right? The harness is the correct term. The colorful harnesses around that's what I saw yesterday at the Coliseum. Little something or another to eat, this and that, walked around and my legs are cooked.
Did you guys listen to the Corey Taylor interview yesterday?
No, I did not.
I did not hear it, no.
Dana sent me one of the photos, and he mentioned how, in his caption, he sent me this picture via text, how Pablo, kind of dresses like a rock star, right?
Yeah,
he's got
absolutely.
the tattoos.
He's got cool tats. He looks cool.
He's got the rock shirt. It's half tucked in. He's got a look. He's got his own look.
Nice.
And Dana had said, if I was just looking at this picture and wasn't familiar with either one of these guys, right, as Pablo's posing next to Corey Taylor, he said, I would assume Pablo was the rock star and Corey Taylor was the radio douche, but it's the other way around.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Can you see that, Ashley?
Yeah. That's
He just kind of looks a little like, I don't know.
He looks like kind of a normal dude, Corey Taylor.
And meanwhile, he was in this over-the-top, setup Slipknot, right? You'd think he'd be a more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a harness kind of a guy.
Yeah.
Something a little more outrageous.
Flamboyant, a little rock and roll. Because sometimes, you see rock stars and they just look like rock stars.
Some of them, they want that image 24/7. They want to be noticed.
Do you remember, so this is a deep cut here, but Third Eye Blind, they were popular for a while, in the
names,
early 2000s maybe.
The name sounds familiar. You'd have to sing me one of their songs.
Doot, doot, doot. I forgot how it goes.
Third Eye Blind. Is that a Butthole reference?
Oh, I don't know. I never thought of it.
Yeah, me neither.
It is, isn't it?
Could be.
That's gross. Anyway, go ahead.
So remember the first time we had them in, really nice guys. And
I don't remember.
They were dressed normal, like a human being would dress.
Sure.
And then they got a little bit of success, and they were back a few months later, and they dressed basically like Kiss at 6 in the morning for their interview, and they were way more standoffish than they should have been.
Right? No, I don't remember that.
I mean, one guy was wearing the high heel boots, and they were dressed like, hey, we're rock stars. And it wasn't like they were leaving the radio station to go play a show, or that they just finished a show and came in. They was on purpose.
It's funny. It's funny how quickly those change, because I've had those too, where you do an interview with a band and they're playing in maybe a smaller venue and they're super just open, willing, do whatever. Yeah, I'll meet listener. You will do whatever. And then a couple months later, they come back and they're playing an arena show. Oh, and they think they're just rock gods.
At times that happens.
Yeah, they just don't even want to talk. They're like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah, and I don't mean to rip on these guys. They could be awesome dudes. That was just our experience the second time they showed up. They were a lot different than the first one.
The outfits can be very interesting. The outfits, what some musicians want to lead you to believe that they wear every day. That's always been interesting to me. Like Josh was saying, it's 6 a.m. There's only 5 of us in here. Why are you wearing what you're wearing? But they want to be recognized as different. Some of them. I am a somebody. I'm not just your average hoodie wearing dork. I wear chains. It's a thing. It's always been something that.
Yeah, sometimes it's super cool. But I always appreciated the band Tesla because they dress relatively normal.
Yeah.
A lot of, what's that stuff called? Denim, certainly.
Oh, yeah.
But they did dress like normal dudes for the most part. All right, Boiler Operator Jesus has checked back in on the word you were looking for about horses. And he had sent in bridle. So I'd mentioned a few people said bridle.
Okay.
And you're saying harness.
Harness is the word I'm going with.
And Boiler Operator Jesus says in a callback to yesterday, no, it's not a harness. I know you're contractually obligated to agree with Nick, but it's a bridle.
The whole thing that goes over their back and around their shoulders, that's a bridle?
I don't know.
You sons of bitch.
Did anybody look up the origin of the name Third Eye Blind?
That's a B-hole reference. I'm going to put $1 on it.
Oh, no, it's the metaphysical third eye. Right? Have you seen that? They got the eye in the middle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're deeper than you would have thought. You thought it was a butthole joke.
I was convinced, and I lost $1. Who was that wrestler Wapple who did that third eye gimmick? You know who I'm talking about. Remember he slipped...
Matt Sydal.
Yeah, well, yes,
It
right?
was one of the Sydal brothers. There was 2 of them.
You're exactly right. Yeah. That was his gimmick, was he can see all through his third eye, right? Which was he would point to it in the middle of his head.
Yeah, it was Matt Sydal.
Yeah.
Yep.
He almost broke his neck trying to do a swanton off the top rope because my guy, Michael Nakazawa, left too much Swedish body oil on the turnbuckle.
That was so good.
Michael Nakazawa, Josh, he'd walk into the ring, right? And he would pull like a flask of Swedish massage oil out of his trunks, right? And he'd soak himself with Swedish massage oil. Why? So his opponents would have a hard time getting a hold of him. And he'd wear the tiniest little tights. So he'd soak himself, and then the referee would go, "You can't soak yourself in Swedish massage oil," and he'd say, "Sorry about that." Then they begin wrestling, or the referee might towel them off a little bit. So you can't have this much massage oil. Then they begin to wrestle, and at one point or another, when no one was looking, Michael Nakazawa would reach down into his trunks again, and he had a second bottle of Swedish massage oil. And he'd start doing it again, and the ref would say, "You can't have this much Swedish." What time is it?
That's one of my favorite things in wrestling is when all of a sudden the ref is distracted, and then something just outrageous happens in the ring. That's so funny.
And his trunks were so tiny, you thought he can't possibly have 2 bottles of bottle.
Wasn't he a littler guy for a wrestler?
Oh, yes.
I mean, muscular, obviously, but I thought he was a little shorter.
Not even muscular, no. He looked like your average dude just got down to a pair of briefs and got in the ring, really.
Yeah, it was pretty much they found a dude on the street and was like, "Here, wear this.
Yes.
And, here's some Turkish body oil."
Yes, here's some Turkish or Swedish, whatever. Dana, what's this about you being a guest referee in a wrestling match?
Yeah, a local brewery hit me up. They're having an event in October to celebrate Oktoberfest, and they asked if I wanted to be a special guest referee. So, of course, I said yes. That sounds awesome.
Do you have any experience?
No. I've been in a ring. I've hit the ropes a couple times, and I, stood on the turnbuckle to, do a cool pose for a photo. But that's about the extent of my wrestling.
Did you ever go through professional wrestling training? I'm just wondering because Nick and myself, we both have.
No, I have not.
You're not a professionally trained.
I'm not at your guys' level.
Okay, well,
I even did it for 2 weeks.
Take it. Okay, you're going to guest referee a match at a brewery. Where is this? What's the name of the joint?
Insight Brewery is the one that...
Insight?
Where's that?
It's in Northeast.
Northeast Minneapolis. Okay, so you're going to guest referee a match. You've never done anything like that before.
No.
Take it from a trained referee, Wapple. Take it from two guys, Josh and I, who have been trained by legendary wrestling figures. And also take it from me personally, a guy who is 3-0 career in the wrestling ring. You're going to fail.
I have a feeling I will, yes.
Please, if you would, because of how entertaining I find it, get distracted.
Yeah.
Right? I love it when they're distracted.
But like, what if like the one of the wrestlers, the heel wrestler manager, like wants to talk to me, and we get into discussion, and I turn my back. Something bad could happen.
That's possible. Who's the group that's wrestling?
I very little detail so far. It's just kind of I got reached out to yesterday, and I said, yeah, and so they're going to fill me in on all the details.
Okay.
In the coming days.
You don't know that the.
I don't know, and I don't know a ton about it.
The
yet.
company.
Mm-hmm. What's the connection? How did they choose you? Because Mopar Dad Jesus, a.k.a. Lake Street Taco Jesus, wants to know why wouldn't it have been Wapple? If they listened to the show, it should have been Wapple.
He's been trained.
Yeah.
I've been trained. It's like a dream of mine.
Yeah, it's his dream. That and to open up a food truck.
Yep. Dude, they correlate.
You can do both.
Yeah, I did think that too. I was like, wonder why they asked me. I mean, I don't love wrestling in, these last few years as much as Wapple. Nick, you still do it, but I'm a huge old school wrestling fan. I still pop up the network and will pull up like a SummerSlam from the 90s and stuff like that because I grew up watching that. Like the WWF in the 90s and the Attitude Era, that was my livelihood. That was all I cared about for a number of years of my life.
Do you have a connection with these guys, though? That's what I was curious about.
Yeah, one of the guys who's like helping promote it, he's a buddy of mine, so I think that's what it is.
That's the
There we go. That's
one wrestling gimmick I haven't seen for a special guest referee? A drunk referee.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That would make it even worse. I'd do even worse if I was drunk than I would if I was sober.
The drunk referee.
That'd be so much fun. He's like counting behind him, like the wrong way.
Jesus.
Oh, boy.
I like it when you get going.
Really cracking yourself up over there. I don't know.
Picturing it.
The possibilities are wide open, and that's very exciting. Maybe you could be an overly strict ref. Maybe you will favor one side over the other. That's the beauty of that character.
Maybe people could text in some gimmicks for you, some ideas.
Would you take a bump?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I would like to take some sort of bump.
It hurts more than you think.
Yeah.
Trust me,
Yeah,
Nick and I are professionally trained.
We were trained by a legendary local wrestling trainer, Eddie Sharkey. God, I hope the man is still with us to this day, but I can't be 100% sure.
I think he is.
Okay. Eddie Sharkey and local wrestler by the name of Billy Blaze.
Wait, Eddie Sharkey's
Blaze. Remember Billy?
Yeah. That was fun.
I still see Billy around town now and again. Eddie Sharkey's 87?
87.
Well, that's all very exciting, again, because in my opinion, it's exciting anyway to be invited to an event like that. Those are great. The local shows are great, but to have all the possibilities for that character, and when you get to sit down with these folks and talk about what they expect from you, maybe they expect you to call it right down the middle. But I hope that maybe
I would lean into a storyline a little bit. That would be
get
fun.
a chance to like you say, lean into a storyline.
Might be kind of funny if you pulled out of your pocket like a sign cheering for one of the opponents.
Oh, that would be good too.
You're clearly a fan of one of the opponents.
Oh, like an autograph picture? Is that what you're saying?
No, like just some sort of sign.
Like a fan sign?
Like he's a fan of one of the opponents.
Sure.
Or take off the wrestling shirt and he's got the wrestler's, shirt.
T-shirt
Oh
on.
yeah, I ripped the ref shirt on, and I have a shirt of one of the two guys in the ring.
Yeah, you can go buy this shirt at the merch booth in the back.
On the topic, yes.
Type 1 Cop Jesus recommends there's some buffalo wings in the corner that distract you. Because you can't say no to buffalo wings.
Or video games. Yeah. Like you put a Nintendo Switch in the corner or something, you start playing it.
That's good.
All of this reminds me of one of my favorite bits I've ever seen in person. This is a first wrestling memory from years ago. Nowadays, you see the Kentucky gentleman Chuck Taylor on AEW Wrestling. He's a part of the Best Friends group with, don't tell me, Orange Cassidy and Mitch Sitchy Ditch Bitch.
Chuck Taylor?
No. I said that already. Chuck Taylor with Orange Cassidy and The best friends. Give the people what they...
What is his name?
His mom's name is Sue. She drives a minivan. Beretta. Trent Beretta. Trent. Yes, Trent Beretta. So...
Pro Wrestling Mark Jesus just texted a great idea. He says, Dana, I should take a bump as the referee in this match that I might be reffing. Take a big bump, and I just lay down like I just got run over by a truck. Then the good guy goes for the cover, and everybody's trying to count one, there's no ref. Then Wapple comes in out of nowhere in a ref shirt for the 3 count.
That would be cute.
I'll come up from under the ring.
Yeah.
That gimmick has been done, and it's always enjoyable.
Yeah, it is fun.
So many years ago, Chuck Taylor, the Kentucky Gentleman, again, you can see him these days on AEW. He would come to First Ave for the first wrestling shows for many years, and he was always one of the funniest, most entertaining guys. You could tell right away this guy's going to be on television every week. Someday he's going to get that call, and eventually he did. So Chuck Taylor is in a 4-way match. I can't remember who all was involved in the match, but he is, because he's the heel, he is getting absolutely tuned up beyond recognition. The first 10 minutes of the match was clearly, let's beat the living hell out of Chuck Taylor, and he's going to do all of his comedic bits. He's just taking a terrible beating. And at one point, Chuck Taylor just slowly climbs out the ring, and he's walking towards the exit. And everyone in the crowd's like, boo, you sissy-ass son of a bitch, get back in there and take your beating. And he's got all the body language of, you know what, that's it. I quit. I'm just going to leave. He leaves. He comes back with a referee's shirt on, and he says, look, guys, I'll just be the referee. You guys go ahead. And the referee, who is the lead referee on AEW nowadays, what's his name, Wapple? Little bald guy? Bryce Grimsberg, whatever. Bryce was already the referee, and Bryce had to say, I'm already the referee. And Chuck said, please, can't I also be the referee? And they said, no, get back in the match. That stuff is the stuff that I look forward to when I see those local shows, the bits and whatnot. So I hope you get a chance to get involved in something like that.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be very fun.
Oh, geez, Jesus wants to know, Dana, if you're going to impregnate Wapple's girlfriend next, since he's in the business of stealing Wapple's dreams.
I never thought of it.
You have so many connections to the local wrestling. I can't believe you haven't done that before.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we were working with them, and then things fell through and just never came back.
He let his emotions get the better of him.
He's been in a rock video.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's
been in
a couple. But you have to remember the Bryce match, Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan. People need to look that match up if you're a fan of wrestling.
It might be
the greatest
match in wrestling history, and there were no wrestlers in the ring. It was just Bryce, the referee. Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan. He did this in front of a live audience.
It is so good.
And in the wrestling.
This is AEW?
No, this was a local show. This was an independent show.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Just, if you have any idea what goes on in wrestling, you have to. It's a great recommendation, Wapple. You have to. It shows Bryce's true talent as a referee.
Yep.
Like they say in the business, he told the story all by himself.
And even the fans that were there helped tell the story, too.
Yes, they did with their reactions. And that's a great heads up, Wapple. All right, we got to get going. Do we have room for all these people today on the program? Ski. All of this starting at 7:30. The Ass Man, Randy Shaver. The Norwegian Ox, Janel Klein. Comic, C. Willi Myles. Twins play-by-play man, Dick Bremer. Chris Lindahl, the John Schuster Group.
Jeez, gosh. At this point,
and also appearing this morning, Whitesnake. So this is going to be, Josh, is this the busiest day we've had in...
It's pretty big. Well, yeah, it's really busy, actually.
I mean, I've never seen it. We'll be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace or AC is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X. For over 3 decades, nobody has had a wrestling career like Arn Anderson. Conrad Thompson gets all the stories with Arn.
After watching AEW's Double or Nothing, Amy wants to know, what does dinosaur taste like?
It ain't chicken. It's like biting into a sinewy charcoal briquette. But chewy.
Oh, wow, that's disgusting.
Yes, sure is.
Check out Arn every week, wherever you listen. Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, well, we can start in a very familiar place with a familiar theme. Grown folks with deep emotional issues causing them to act out violently like little children. That's the title that I would personally hang on this here first story. What we have here was all caught on cellular, telephone, audio, and video. An overgrown child riding the subway in New York City couldn't contain his little bitchy, misplaced anger issues. So he dumped 2 or 3 heavy elbows into the face of a fellow subway rider because the fellow rider had accidentally fallen asleep on the overgrown 5-year-old bitch-ass moron's shoulder while they were cruising along on the subway train. The poor sleepy dude. Well, I'll tell you this, Cubby, he did get some sleep there for a few seconds.
Yeah, getting knocked unconscious would put you into deep sleep.
Because the elbows that were thrown by bitch-ass, which, by the way, were somewhat similar. We've been talking wrestling a little bit this morning, which isn't unusual on this program. The elbows this guy dumped were somewhat similar to Chris Jericho's finishing move called the Judas Effect.
Ooh, that hurts.
Wapple, remember when Jericho dumped the Judas Effect on the Jacksonville Jaguars mascot? That was nasty.
Wasn't that during the Stadium Stampede match?
Yes, it was the Stadium Stampede match, and the Jacksonville Jaguars mascot came out and said, "You can't act this way in my stadium," and Jericho said, "Whoop-ha, Judas Effect," and he went down.
And then the next year, during the Stadium Stampede Part 2,
yes,
Chris Jericho put a cone on his head, and he went, "Hey, I'm a wizard."
He's not making that up.
I feel like I was there.
These elbows knocked the sleepy dude smooth out.
And this wasn't a small guy that dished out these elbows. He's a pretty big dude.
No. The difference being that usually when Jericho starts throwing around his Judas Effect elbows, Jericho's opponents know they're involved in a fight. Bitch ass here on the subway, he didn't give the sleepy dude that same consideration because he's a bitch.
I would half be creeped out and half find it adorable if a stranger fell asleep on my shoulder. Yeah. And I'd also want to know, what does this mean for our relationship? Are we married? Are we dating? What does this mean? Has anything like that ever happened to anyone here?
Well, I fell asleep on a couple of gals on an airplane ride years ago when I was full of Xanax and tap beer.
Ones you knew?
No, I did not.
Really? You didn't even know them?
Oh, you probably forgot this story. This was back when I had a good grip on how to properly medicate myself for a plane ride. And I wasn't wildly out of control like the other plane ride story I've told before on this program. This was a situation where I went to a doctor. I asked him what I can do about plane rides, and he said, well, I can give you some of this here Xanax. And my doctor said, this isn't 100% doctor recommended, but he said, take a half of one of these, have a beer or 2, and that should do the trick. And he was right. So for a stretch of time, I could get on these airplanes and follow his orders, and by God, I'd sit down in my chair and I'd sleep right through the whole schmear. So in this situation, I was extra groggy getting on the plane. I did my Xanax. I did a couple of tall taps at the airport, and there were a couple of cute college-age looking gals sitting in my row. And I told them as we sat down, I said, I got some beers in me and I took some dope, So if I fall asleep, just knock me over to the window because I was on the window. If I end up putting my head on your shoulder, just throw me over towards the window. Trust me, I won't wake up. And they said, okay, cool. And I woke up when we hit the ground at our destination. Beautiful, right? That's exactly what...
That's the goal.
That's the goal. And when I woke up, they were both kind of laughing at me. And I came to and I said, oh, I slept the whole way, didn't I? And they said, yeah. And they're still kind of giggling. I said, Did I lean over? Did I nap on your shoulder? And the gal said, yeah, for a little while. But yet they were still laughing, and I thought, well, that's not that funny. Why are they still laughing? I had a boner!
Oh,
no!
You know?
Yes, I did!
Listen.
A boner!
As someone who has been with a consenting partner, when they see my penis for the first time, that laughter can stick with you and it can hurt. And I'm sorry that happened to you.
Appreciate that, Josh.
I was wondering, thought it was one of three things. You drooled, you were snoring. Oh, it could have been four. You're snoring, you sleep-tooted, or you had a boner.
Yeah.
Man,
I think that's the toughest of the four options,
I like that they shared that information with you. I might not have said anything to someone.
When they said, okay, it's time to get up and get your luggage, I said, can I have a minute?
Think about baseball. Are you, do you know when you're on that stuff, do you snore or do you drool or anything?
I wasn't a snorer back then. I've only become drooling. I'm sure I probably rained drool all over the both of them. I wasn't a snorer back then. I only developed this horrible snoring habit in the last decade.
So even on the because I thought that could affect you.
I was never told by anyone, and I slept with multiple people back then.
That's
Josh.
true.
I was never told that I was a snorer back then when I was practicing Xanax and beer for airplane rides. It's only in the last 10 years or so where people say, holy balls, dude, you snore like a mountain gorilla. So, drooling, probably. Boners, yes.
The only time I ever drool is when I nap. Or else maybe I do it when I sleep, but it has dried by the time I awake.
Are you a drooler, Ashley?
Yeah, I am. Even if I'm like I was just laying in bed yesterday for like maybe 20 minutes, and my boyfriend came up and he was like, were you sleeping? I was like, no, I'm just chilling here on my phone. He's like, why did you drool so much?
I'm also a terrible drooler, and I think it's more so, like you said, when I nap as opposed to when I go to real sleep.
That's how it is for me, yeah.
A week ago or so, I took a nap on the couch on a Saturday afternoon, and I woke up and I said, oh, God dang it, I must have had a bottle of water or a Gatorade, and I spilled it on oh, no, that's not water again. It was drool. I just pouring it out. Like a damn dog in the street.
Yeah, I do the same thing. And on airplanes, I've never gotten the boner, but I have done the drooling where you're kind of sleeping, and you awake, and you get like almost like that, and I just terrify everybody around me because out of nowhere it's like, oh, that guy's just sleeping, and then all of a sudden I just I'm like jolt myself awake, and I'm terrified for a brief second, and then I'm like, oh no, sorry, wait, just drool off. I'm fine, sorry, everybody relax.
Have you guys ever drooled so bad that it just pools only around your midsection when you wake up? Have you had that happen?
God!
Like it's so much drool.
My God!
No.
Will you stop that?
You've never had that happen?
Never.
Yucky.
You guys are weird, man. Sometimes I wonder about you.
All right, let's get back to this douche who came uncorked on the subway. A guy fell asleep on his shoulder, so he completely loses his cool. I mean, if you see the audio and the video of this guy, he obviously has some faulty wiring. Nobody should be this angry because someone slept on their shoulder. And he smokes the guy in the noggin with his elbow. The guy, he's wringing the guy's head off the window of the sub. The guy goes unconscious. Once the elbows were dumped, some other dude got up and fought back against this oversized 5-year-old. And that's when it became obvious in the video that if Bitchy Bitch doesn't get the advantage of throwing cheap shots at people, he really has very little to offer when it comes to a legit fist fight.
Oh, I love that.
The scrap didn't last long. Everyone went their separate ways. The poor bastard who ate elbow meat for breakfast, he reported this to the cops, so hopefully the cops can find Bitchy McBitch.
I didn't like Bitchy McBitch also went for someone's nuts, too. The guy that jumped in.
Oh, dude, this guy sucks.
He was kind of going to the down below the belt, in wrestling.
Well, Wapple, I
think he was getting his thigh.
To
But
me,
it looked like he was going for the wiener a little bit.
To me, it looked like he was going for shots to the lower lumbar or the abdominal area. But okay, it's all a matter of perception, I guess. You thought he was going gear, correct? You thought he was going gear.
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully the cops can pull this little guy out of his race car bed at his mommy's house and ring his ass up on assault charges. Maybe he can learn to fight like a grown person while he spends a few days in jail, Cubby.
What's kind of lost in this whole story because of how big of a douchebag he became is the fact that he's wearing sunglasses indoors and at night.
Oh, wow. He's so cool.
You're right. That is overlooked.
Yeah, and in the subway, too. It's dark down there, too.
It sure is, Wapple. We hear a lot of elaborate plans and schemes from robberies, now and again in our award-winning Stupid News segment. We hear a lot of elaborate plans and schemes from bad guys, but then we also hear about folks like this where zero planning was involved in their caper. A 56-year-old man by the name of Robert Withington in a town called Trumbull, Connecticut. Robert's been charged with larceny after he saw a bag of money outside a bank a few months ago. He picked it up and he walked smooth off with it. It was a bank deposit bag with the bank's logo on it. The money bag had been accidentally dropped by someone coming out the bank, in or out the bank. There was about $5,000 in cash inside. Police looked into this. They probably watched some, what's the word I'm looking for, security video. They saw that Robert had picked up the bag. He later admitted it, that he was at the bank. He admitted that he saw the bag. He admitted that he walked off with the bag, but he figured it was, quote, finders keepers. And he also believed he had no obligation to return the bag. So this guy's 56 years old. He's still living by playground rules.
Yeah.
Finders keepers, he says. I wonder if he still swears that you can't triple stamp a double stamp, Josh. Can too, double stamp it, no erases. So the fourth grade finders keepers rule, yeah, it might work for a $20 bill on the sidewalk, but the bag clearly belonged to the bank. This guy's an effing clown. I know, Josh, you still live by some of the rules that we lived by in grade school. You're a big whoever smelt it dealt it guy.
Yeah. And also, whoever made the rhyme did the crime.
Do you take pinky promises pretty seriously, too?
I've never broken one.
Yes, good man. You're a noble gentleman.
I've been looking forward to telling you about this guy for a couple days now. Here's a guy who obviously needs to lighten up a little bit. Let me tell you about this asshat right here. He goes by the name of Andy Elliott. He does. And from what I understand, he makes a living training people how to sell. He's a sales trainer, it says here. So I imagine that means he thinks he can show us or tell us how to sell cars or sell shoes or whatever.
Did you know, according to a commercial that this radio station runs about our parent company, Cumulus Media, that when you become a salesperson, they just give you a money tree? Were you aware of that? Have you heard that?
No, I didn't hear that.
We got on the wrong side of radio, didn't we?
I know. Well, look at the parking lot.
Yeah, yeah. When you walk out there, you know whose cars are ours and which cars belongs to the salespeople.
I have heard the money tree theory, Josh. And let me tell you, if we do this for 1,000 more years, there's no way you could convince me that we should have gone the sales route. I don't care how fancy the cars are. I don't care where your cabin is on Gull Lake. There's no way I would choose that life over this. How's it going, sales department? What the hell was I saying? Oh, yeah, this guy's a sales trainer. One of these motivational speaker guys who will get up in front of a crowd. How's your career going? Not good, huh? Let me tell you how to. And poor suckers have to listen to this dork flap his effing yapper about how we're doing it all wrong and he's got all the answers. Sitting in on something like that, does that sound a lot like the worst effing 2 hours any of us could spend in our entire lives?
Sounds terrible.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, I would have no interest in that.
Some hard-on know-it-all. But here's the deal. He made a comment at one of his stupid seminars that folks took interest in. Dorkass says he fires any employee on his team who doesn't have six-pack abs.
I'm going to tell you this, my entire company, my entire team, if you don't have a six-pack, you don't work for us. No, I know. It's called, everybody say standard. How about we raise them? How about you guys quit getting fucking civilized and you guys quit settling? You know, there's some people in this room that said, I would sue my company if they told me I had to have a six-pack. We know you would.
Yeah, I would. I would sue.
That's got to be in the top 5 dumbest things I've ever heard a grown person say. This guy is an effing joke. How about the part when he's a grown person in front of a crowd full of grown people and he says, everyone say standard. And then the folks say, standard. You followed that part of the audio?
Yeah.
That's the part where I would get up and say, no, I got a word for you. F you, idiot. And walk out. Everyone say standard. I'm not a child. I don't repeat after people like that.
I would like it if we had the ability to watch what happened directly after that speech when HR came to him and you just hear him going, oh, I can't do that. Oh, so if somebody doesn't have we have to keep them on the staff. I understand. I think it makes it better that you mentioned his last name is Elliot. We call him Idiot. But he's got a shirt that says Elliot Army on it.
Oh, no.
This is just the worst of the worst.
How can you be that obsessed with yourself? What a narcissist.
Yeah, Dana, answer the question.
Sounds like he'd be a cult leader.
Oh, yeah.
How about you guys quit settling? He says. No, how about you're an enormous moron that nobody in their right mind would take seriously for 5 seconds? Did you see what this ass clown looks like?
Yeah, he kind of has a douchebag vibe.
And a lot of folks were making fun of him online, saying he's got a bald head. So folks online were making fun of him, saying, "Hey, you can't work for me if you're bald. Have some standards and grow some hair out."
Not to mention, he doesn't look to me like he has a six-pack. He's certainly fit.
Okay, most people can't actually get a perfect six-pack. Not everybody can achieve that. So I don't know what it is. I don't know what he's saying.
This dude, he's a delusional idiot. He belongs in radio. He really does.
Yeah,
if this is how he's going to behave, he really belongs in radio. So that's about as much time as this massive set of clown shoes deserves on this or any effing radio show. Good luck there, big shot. You're just the best in the business, aren't you?
I'm surprised he doesn't have a podcast yet.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yes, he does. I bet he's the kind of guy who just shows up without being asked. He shows up to help coach his kid's youth hockey team, even though he's never put a pair of skates on in his entire effing life. You guys ever have that guy who climbed over the bench with your coach and said, "Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I'll help the kids out. All right, guys, let's go. Let's get a goal out there." You ever play hockey? No, hockey. No, I was more into chess. But come on, guys, let's do it. One of my best friend's dads did that.
What did he teach you?
He taught us nothing. You should have seen my buddy's face. It was, we were fairly grown, too. This wasn't like we were 6 years old and any dad can just be like that dorky motivator on the bench, right? We were fairly grown. We were playing a relatively decent brand of hockey at that point in our lives. And we're sitting on the bench for a game, and all of a sudden my buddy looks behind. We had just one coach. My buddy looks behind. His dad had climbed over the glass to be our assistant coach. My buddy had a look on his face as if he was thinking, I would rather be under a truck right now. Because his dad had never played effing hockey.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
He's back there with his leather gloves. Okay, guys, let's get it going. Shut up.
Texas Jesus said that his job sends him to those Andy Elliott seminars.
Oh, God.
And he said they're more painful than you can imagine. I bet. We have never had to do anything like that, have we?
Oh, God, not in my memory.
I don't remember them bringing in
brutal.
any motivational speakers or anything like that.
No.
Everyone say, Everyone say standard.
Standard.
Oh, you son of a bitch. I would be so furious at that.
Seriously.
Like we're a bunch of kindergartners.
Okay, what kind of? I'm looking at his website right now. What kind of person do you have to be to buy some of his apparel? He's got merch that he sells on his website. You can wear a shirt that with his name on it.
That's pretty ridiculous. By the way, stop by the Black Box That Rocks at the State Fair. We'll be selling all kinds of new 93X merch, and we're there from 10 a.m. to noon on Friday.
I got a plan if Cumulus ever sets us up with this Elliot Anderson or whatever you said his name is. If he comes here and does a seminar, when he does the everyone say standard bit, the five of us say douchebag, all in unison.
I'll do that with you, Nick.
Thanks, Smashley. So, let's keep on this vibe. Let's keep going this route. If you think your boss is a clueless prick, here's a boss that feels so entitled to her employees' time that she thinks if her employees go out on a Saturday night, they're being, quote, unprofessional. Someone somewhere's on stupid social media, they wrote in about this delusional nightmare boss. They wrote, the boss lady called Saturday night around 9 p.m. while I was out with a group of friends. She had issues with some files and needed help. I told her I wasn't home. I told her I have no access to a computer to review these files, and I told her I was too drunk to help her. She hung up on me. The story doesn't end there. They went on to say, I just saw an email she sent to me soon after she hung up. Basically, she told me I was highly unprofessional, and we will have a meeting about this on Monday.
Oh, good.
And this is not a job that requires this person to be on call, nor did the boss give this person any heads up on, hey, I might need you this weekend. There was none of that. In the comments on social media, everybody was in agreement that this was ridiculous for the boss to act like this. Others shared how they handled similar situations in the past. One person wrote, I had a boss who used to call me during my off hours. Next time I submitted payroll, I included those off-hour work calls. Guess what? He never called me outside of work ever again.
Smart.
There was plenty of advice in this thread, if that's how you say it. One person suggested, just start the meeting on Monday by saying, I'm so happy you wanted to set up this meeting to apologize for calling me on my personal number when I'm never supposed to be working on the weekend. It shows a lot of professionalism on your part that you recognize your lapse in judgment.
That is genius.
That'd feel good.
Others suggested this could be a good time to start looking for a new job. Well, here's what happened on Monday. So the boss lady comes off with this, well, you're being unprofessional, calling someone at 9 o'clock. Can I get some help? Here's what happened on Monday. This poor bastard who got bothered on a Saturday night by the boss lady, once they were face-to-face, they said to the boss, what time would you like to have this meeting about my unprofessionalism? Because I can get HR to sit in on it.
That's good, too.
Yeah.
The boss offered him an excuse that your average effing sixth grader would come up with. The boss said, the call Saturday night, it was just a joke.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, okay.
I was just messing with you.
And then the text was too? All right. Good one.
That's good.
Got me.
The boss said she knew that this employee was out with friends, and she didn't know that this employee would be so upset by her, quote, joke. That's pretty weak.
I'm sorry you didn't find that funny.
That's pretty weak it wasn't a friggin' joke.
Hopefully nobody's can buy that.
Yeah, that would have, because, she didn't just, cause her unnecessary stress and all that, but, she probably ruined her night out with her friends. Pisses me off.
Bartab Jesus said, I've had bosses like this, and they make work unbearable. He goes on to say, you can have the easiest job, and a bad boss could just make it a slog. That's true. That makes it, you could have a really difficult job, and a good boss makes it that much better. It makes such a difference. We've had them all.
Oh, yeah. I've had ones where I'd, be at work for 10, 11 hours. Oh, taking off already, huh? Then
bastards.
As I was on my way home to then sit on my laptop and do more work for the next day's show. Yeah.
Well, and I'm sure your boss had just gotten there, hungover.
Yeah.
Well, you guys know the guy I worked with many years ago in radio who thought he could sit down and assign each of us, if there was like 5 of us on the show, he thought he could sit down and assign each of us what we were going to watch on television every weeknight in order to be learned on these popular television shows so we could have conversations about them on our radio program. We're sitting at a table, and he goes, okay, you watch Friends tonight, you watch Frasier, you're going to watch whatever, CSI Miami, and you're going to watch ER.
So painful.
That's insane.
And everyone else said, oh, okay. And I said, I'm not doing any of that. What are you talking about? I said, number one, this was a Monday. I said, it's Monday. I'm watching Monday Night Football. I'm not going to watch friggin' ER. Oh, I said, well, then we're going to lose. Then we're going to lose because you're too selfish to be a team player. And I said, I'm a team player all the effing time around here. You can't control what I watch on television. You're not my dad.
I do so bad.
Now say it with me. Standard.
Standard. Oh, the show sucked because this guy was a moron. Okay, one more story.
This is a good line from Iron Fist Jesus. I've left more bosses than jobs over the years. A bad boss is the worst thing ever. Totally agree.
We can't be on air with Friends being the number one show and none of us know what's happening on Friends, is what this guy used to say. Guess what? I'm never going to know what's happening on Friends, ever.
You stood your ground. You said, I watched one show, and it's Last Man Standing, all right?
That's your show.
Hell yeah.
Starring, that guy.
I see what you mean.
I'm pretty sure the only thing you knew about that was the network it aired on.
What? No, about
Last
what?
Man Standing.
What's that?
It's a television show, as you know, on the CW.
Here we go. All right, one final. I guess it's now officially one of the more annoying times of the year. Here's the deal. I'm going to try not to lose my patience the way I did talking about that guy from years ago. Or that other guy, the bald-headed guy with the sales seminars. I'll try not to get too hot. The pumpkin spice latte hit Starbucks last week, okay?
Yeah, it did.
Ashley, please. I told you, I'm trying to keep my...
Pumpkin pie blizzard came back to Dairy Queen yesterday.
Oh, dude, that's the more important news.
I used to know, my calendar was based around the pumpkin pie blizzard, the Shamrock Shake, and then the McRib. That was my year.
Yeah.
That's how I based my year.
Sense.
Look, Dairy Queen's selling a lot of pumpkin spice blizzards. If one of us isn't out there eating one, we're going to look like idiots on the radio. Everyone's eating pumpkin spice blizzards, and we have no idea what we're even talking about. We're going to lose. Yeah, we're going to lose. Because you don't understand the term standard. Okay. The pumpkin spice thing hit Starbucks last week, but there's something more here for you pumpkin spice dorks. Now a totally different hole in your body can enjoy these fall flavors. Pumpkin spice butt wipes are now a thing.
I don't think... I can't imagine that would be enjoyable.
Well,
it depends
don't
on
knock
how
it
you're...
till you try it.
Depends on how you're enjoying it, I suppose. The company Dude Wipes is making them. Pumpkin spice ass rags.
Oh, well, I trust them. They've got good products.
They do. I've partied with Dude Wipes before. They're calling them DUMPkin spice wipes.
That's a win.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm now on board.
According to the description, they're designed to, quote, keep your butt cozy with a pumpkin spice-inspired mix of clove, nutmeg, and other fall scents. There's a few different routes I'd like to take with all of this, but maybe I'm just better off leaving it be. The folks at Dude Wipes posted a picture of a pumpkin with the date September 5th, 20+23 carved into it, so that's likely the date where you'll be able to find pumpkin-scented ass wipes at the store. You can already buy them at Amazon's. So there you go. It's that time of year where everybody obsesses over pumpkin spice, and the next step is the dopey fall color reports, and then it'll be Thanksgiving where people pretend that turkey is the greatest food in the world, and then it'll be Christmas, and maybe someone will start wearing a new hilarious Christmas sweater What? Santa with a Metallica shirt on? That's ridiculous. Santa doesn't listen to Metallica.
I love it. I'm so excited.
What? Reindeer drinking beer? Reindeer don't really drink beer. What are you, a crazy person or something? That is hilarious.
It'd be crazy if if me and my boyfriend were about to get busy and he took his pants off and I just smelled pumpkin spice. Like, what's going on?
That distract you a little bit?
You think that would cause you to draw back, or it wouldn't reel you in to have the scent of pumpkin spice falling off of your boyfriend's private areas?
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't be down for that.
Why not?
I'm not really a huge pumpkin spice person, to be honest.
What scent would you like down there? What food-based scent?
If we're going fall vibes, I'm more of an apple cider girl. Some apple smell.
Sure. Okay.
A nice.
You said apple smell?
Yes.
Okay.
Or a bonfire. That'd be nice.
Do you know how hot it would be if a woman wore like buffalo wing lip gloss or something? That would be nice.
They make it.
Oh yeah, we tried
You
it on the
own
air
it.
once. Yeah, that's right.
thought
It was
you had some.
disgusting. Oh yeah, it was gross.
It was
That
really
did not
bad.
taste like the buffalo wings I know and love.
No.
What a hell of a deal.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Strike to Lewis. High fly, left center field, deep to the gap. Gone! He did it again! The rookie.
This effing guy, Royce Lewis, God help us all, hit his second grand slam in 2 days last night.
That
in
is
the
awesome.
Twins guard. I mean, Merzo never even did that. 2 grand slams in 2 days.
And he's immersing.
Right. Half man and half what?
Immersing.
Right. Royce Lewis. Man, this kid, if he stays healthy, he's the real deal. Twins beat the Guardians 10-6. It was a hell of a game. Kente had, I love Kente, but he was getting smoked. Twins were down early, but then they just started hitting the baseball. You know, remember in the early days of Target Field when everyone said, this place sucks for home runs, the ball dies, it's the limestone and the moisture and
the trees are distracting.
Have you seen the way the ball's been carrying at this friggin' Wallner and Polanco both hit baseballs into the third tank. It's just, it's been fun to watch. But Lewis, crazy. What is this? He's only the 10th player in baseball history. This is kind of an obscure stat, but I think you'll be able to follow it. Just the 10th player in baseball history to hit at least 3 grand slams in his first 10 career home runs. Are you following what I'm trying to say there?
Mm-hmm.
So only 10 some odd, and then 3 of them have been grand. Awesome stuff.
Go big or go home, I guess.
That's how he looks at it. Game 2 is tonight at Target Field. The Twins now have a 7-game lead on Cleveland. It's looking pretty good. Gavin Williams, another rookie pitcher for the Guardians. Pablo Lopez for the Twins. We're going to talk to Dick Bremer about all this in a half hour. Randy Shaver will also be here. Janel Klein will be here. Comic C. Willi Myles. It's going to be very crowded. Josh's News is coming up next.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey Minnesota, CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace or AC is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Are you currently enjoying the show on the Stitcher app? Then you need to know Stitcher is going away on August 29th. Yep, going away, as in kaput, gone, dead. Rest in peace, Stitcher, and thanks for 15 years of service to the podcast community. So switch to another podcast app and follow this show there. Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Like a foot by
foot tall. Shattered my oil pan, lost all the fluids. Both my airbags went off, shattered my windshield, gave me a concussion. Somebody could have died out of it.
Police in Massachusetts arrested a man who seemed to get his kicks by putting big rocks in the middle of the road at night in order to cause crashes.
There's a car in front of me, probably 20 feet, but it swerves out of the way last minute. I don't have time to move, so I just hit that thing and just went boom right up, launched us in the air, smacked right down. Just a huge loud noise, a huge smack down on the ground.
Police said that for at least 6 months, 31-year-old Cameron Courier, who works as a road line painter, would go out at night, often on rainy nights, and then place a rock weighing about 20 pounds in the middle of the freeway. He would then return to his home, which was close enough to hear and see the ensuing collisions and watch emergency responses to the crashes caused by the dangerous rocks placed in the roadway.
Dude.
At least 11 cars hit the rocks in this fashion since February, some of them sustaining serious damage, and in some cases, the drivers were injured. Courier was arrested after a detective in camouflage positioned himself in the woods last week and spotted a white pickup stopping by the side of the road at about midnight.
Middle of the night, full camouflage in the woods. Just sat there in the pouring rain and waited to see if something happened.
The detective heard the tailgate open, then found a large rock in the road after the truck drove off. Officers soon spotted Courier on his porch, and they say his white pickup was warm to the touch. Police say more drivers have been coming forward since news of his arrest.
I'm glad that eventually they were like, all right, there's been too many rock accidents here. We have to figure out what's going on here.
What a dork.
Yeah, seriously.
Could have killed somebody.
Friggin' ridiculous.
Kentucky briefly had its own Hershey Highway last week. A busy road was shut down after police say a car going southbound on the bypass tried to turn but collided with a semi. Police said that semi was hauling liquid feces, which spilled across the road.
It's got to get from point A to point B somehow, right?
True.
The road was shut down for several hours while crews cleaned turds up. Both drivers, thankfully, are okay.
I know a guy used to drive the turd truck.
Was it human or animal?
Little of both.
Oh.
More animal than human.
Very versatile.
He enjoyed the gig.
Does it hold the smell in that you're aware of? Or maybe they put a chemical in there to take care of it? Something I never thought of until right this very second.
Good question. I think he was pretty much pushing 100% turds.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think they did anything to dummy it up.
A 49-year-old man in Georgia is facing multiple felonies and several decades behind bars after a game of ding-dong ditch turned violent over the weekend. Early Sunday, a group of teens knocked on the door of William Cole's home as part of a ding-dong ditch game, but Cole didn't take it lightly. In fact, he went full moron. After chasing the teens from his home, he got into his car and continued to follow them. He then attempted to hit them with his car, police said, before chasing them on foot. After catching one of the teens, police said Cole choked him until a witness intervened. Quite courageously, he then fled the scene. Cole faces 2 counts of aggravated assault and 1 charge of child cruelty.
And he thinks he's the adult and they're the children.
That's right.
Right.
In a similarly disturbing story, a trooper with the Delaware State Police was suspended last week for allegedly hospitalizing a 15-year-old boy after the teen and several of his friends targeted his home while playing ding-dong ditch. Earlier this year, a man in California was sentenced to life in prison after chasing down a car carrying at least 6 teens who had allegedly played ding-dong ditch on his home. The 45-year-old, who didn't know the boys, chased the teens in his car, eventually reaching 99 miles an hour before rear-ending them. The vehicle, carrying the teens, lost control, slamming into a tree.
Man, some of you's got to get a grip at one point or another.
Can't even ding-dong ditch anymore?
You got to get a grip.
Well, that guy's going to be going to jail the rest of his life.
Yeah.
In related news, a suspect is behind bars after attempting to knock down the door of Dana White's home in Maine. And now the UFC honcho is thanking fans for helping track down the guy. White posted the footage of the incident to Instagram yesterday, showing a man violently kicking his front door repeatedly. "I'll give $2,500 to the first person to let the police know who he is," White posted. It must have worked because the sheriff's office said a suspect is in custody and everybody's safe. In another case of an adult who maybe shouldn't be around children, also in Georgia, an Atlanta area high school football coach was arrested after punching one of his players in the stomach on the sideline during a game, and the entire ordeal was captured on video. The act occurred during the first quarter of a high school football game at Henderson Stadium in Georgia Saturday afternoon. The Peachtree TV broadcast captured the assistant coach and his player's face before decking the boy with a right to the gut. The player, a junior defensive back, backed up after the sucker punch and appeared to hunch over in pain after the coach continued to yell. Atlanta Public Schools didn't waste any time. They said the coach, who was not a teacher, was taken into police custody shortly afterwards. He faces a battery charge as well as administrative discipline from Atlanta Public Schools. Then in Virginia, a father was arrested after he allegedly beat his son's youth soccer coach over the weekend, leaving the victim with a black eye and a swollen face. The coach told the local police he didn't know why the father attacked him, but remembers the team was losing ahead of the beatdown that knocked him out.
Oh, so he does know why.
Some of the off-duty cops who were at the game were able to move the children a safe distance away and calm the situation. People are running hot.
Unbelievable. You know, I remember some of the dads that I had to deal with when I was the Zamboni driver.
Oh.
Some of the hockey dads that I had to deal with. I mean, I'm lucky I didn't end up in one of these stories because we could have easily turned to blows at one point or another. And I was just the Zamboni guy.
I was just going to say, like, hey, man, I'm just the dude that resurfaces the ice. Take your anger elsewhere.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of youth sporting events with my older kids and now my youngest. And the most violent I'd ever seen and the angriest was actually at a youth softball tournament. This dad was going absolutely insane. No clue what set him off, but he was going nuts.
The biggest blow up I had with a dad was over the hour clock, you know, on the ice. You know, every game, barring, with the exception of JV and varsity hockey, every game was an hour. Doesn't matter who the hell you are. This was a Pee Wee A tournament. Ooh, big deal, right?
Life or death.
Some dad wet his pants about the hour clock, and we ended up in a massive shouting match. To make a long story short, I did get some satisfaction by crumpling up a piece of paper and firing it as fast as I could into his eye socket.
Oh.
And then I also got an opportunity to tell him that I thought his son sucked.
At least 4 Kentucky teenagers are facing terrorism and harassment charges for threatening their teachers with hidden bombs as part of a demented trend made popular on TikTok. There have been 4 different bomb threats at 3 different high schools there since the new school year began August 9th. The challenge encouraged students to record a video themselves telling a teacher there was a bomb or gun in their backpack, police said in a statement.
Oh, that's going to end well.
Great challenge.
Turns out, Waffle, it did not. At least 3 of the incidents were confirmed to have stemmed from that social media challenge, quote unquote. Authorities have warned parents and children about numerous TikTok challenges in past years, including ones in which teens were consuming chewing gum containing the same ingredient as pepper spray, pranksters who kick indoors, and the meteoric rise in car thefts.
Car thefts?
Yeah.
As an online challenge.
That's the whole Kia Hyundai thing, all these cars.
It's hilarious stuff, man.
They have more entertainment than you could ever imagine when we were growing up, but this is what some people are doing.
Yeah.
A wasted Australian couple fell about 33 feet from a medieval wall in Croatia, featured in numerous scenes in seasons 2 and 3 of HBO's Game of Thrones. They got the full Stark treatment here.
Oh, no, they're dead?
No, thankfully. It's not looking good for the woman, though, but hopefully she comes out of the coma.
Oh!
The couple slipped and fell from a wall between 2 restaurants around 2:35 a.m. Saturday when the 26-year-old woman leaned against her 34-year-old boyfriend, toppling them over. Police said the incident appears to have been accidental, no indication anything criminal took place, but tests revealed the couple were under the influence of alcohol, and apparently a lot of it. The man had a blood alcohol reading of just over 0.2, the woman's over 0.3. According to the Cleveland Clinic, at these levels, a person may experience confusion, vomiting, drowsiness, or even alcohol poisoning and possible death if over 0.3.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where they were going to fall off of something.
Yeah, they apparently were pretty hammered.
But what part of the world is this?
Croatia.
Croatia, my goodness.
A Yellowstone tourist drunkenly stumbled into the national park's off-limits hot springs last Tuesday and now faces federal charges and a temporary ban. 49-year-old Jason Wicks was arraigned Wednesday on charges of off-trail travel in a Yellowstone National Park thermal area. and being under the influence of alcohol or drugs to the degree he was a danger to himself or others, the U.S. Attorney's Office said. Wicks of Michigan is also banned from stepping foot in the national park, at least until the case is resolved. Wicks did suffer some thermal burns to his foot after venturing into the restricted and highly dangerous area. According to the National Park Service, more than 20 people have died in Yellowstone hot springs, which contain lethally hot waters, reaching up to 200 degrees or more over the years.
And folks they think it's going to be like a hot tub, and they jump in, and then they're done.
Sounds that way.
That's terrible.
The springs are so hot and acidic, some victims' bodies actually dissolve inside the water.
That's pretty like sweet, but awful, but like pretty cool.
Dang, nature, you scary.
Yeah.
It's like Terminator 2 type stuff right there. Their bodies just...
Yeah, I picture Wapple sinking and then giving the thumbs up, just like in Terminator.
Slowly goes
Everything's
away.
great here.
You know, I do have a positive hot spring story. You guys have heard about, hikers go up into the woods and they smoke a bunch of ganj and then eventually they jump into the... Like Josh was telling you, folks get in there and they don't know what they're getting themselves into. But this is a hot spring story with a happy ending. I know this gal who used to like to get up, dress herself up in a dorky hiking outfit and wander around the woods, in the Yellowstone area, wherever these friggin' hot springs are at. And one day she's hiking around in her dorky hiking outfit, and she comes up on a hot spring, and there's a dude sitting in the hot spring, and he's ass naked. And she says, "Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt." And he says, "No, that's no big deal. How are you?" She says, "Good." And he says, do you want to also get naked and get in the hot spring with me?" And she said, "You know what? Why not?" And she got naked and she got in the hot spring with him. And they sat there for a while, and then the guy said, "While we're naked in this hot spring, do you want to have sex with me in the hot spring?" And she said, "Well, yeah." And they had sex in the hot spring, and then they put their dorky hiking outfits on, and then they went their separate ways, never had a contact with each other ever again.
That's beautiful.
She's a kind person.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
About a year ago, a park employee found part of a foot still in a shoe floating in a spring, as the rest of the remains were believed to have melted in the scalding geyser basin.
Dude.
Past offenders who have survived have faced steep fines and even jail time.
A shoe with a foot in it.
Yeah, foot still there. The shoe protected the foot.
No.
Day 6 at the Minnesota State Fair is Military Appreciation Day with discounted admission prices for active military, their spouses and kids, retired military and their spouses, and military veterans and their spouses.
Let me tell you something, Cubby. I was there yesterday. They weren't kidding about Senior Day.
Oh, yeah.
Scooters?
Oh, my God.
Slow getting around, maybe?
Yeah, there was an impromptu Bob Barker morning. I'm talking about it was used for some old people.
Stop by the 93X booth to see all our new merch, daily live broadcasts from our esteemed colleagues, and then Friday, join the morning show to see Ashley transform into Rossley Fart Crocs, the radio clown, live in person. More details coming on that up later. After setting an attendance record on Friday, the Minnesota State Fair saw its second highest attendance for an opening weekend this year. Between Friday and Sunday, 551,315 people walked through the gates so far at the fair. That was just behind a record set in 2019. For comparison, both totals are far ahead of third place, which was set in 1998. As I mentioned, today is Military Appreciation Day at the fair. Every Friday on 93X, we have the great privilege to welcome a current or retired member of Minnesota's military on the show, and then we'll make a donation to Folds of Honor on their behalf. If you'd like to nominate yourself or someone you know, you can check out 93x.com. Tonight on FX, the first season finale of Justified, City Primeval. He went to Augsburg College. He won 3 NBA championships during his time with the Los Angeles Lakers, and he's my Eskimo brother. Minneapolis-born Devin George, 46 today. The call girl Tom Cruise hooks up with in Risky Business, and the psychotic nanny from The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Rebecca Hubba Hubba de Mornay, 64.
Did she sling it like no other for a stretch of time there, Cubby?
As Wapple would say, oh boy. She sure did.
And I'll tell you what, that movie, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, is one of the most ridiculous piles of feces ever created in Hollywood, but you don't care at all when you're watching that movie.
She's creepy in that one.
You don't even care.
Wanted to give a shout out to aid worker Jesus, who's traveled the world helping those in need. He emailed saying he's taken a bit of home with him on his humanitarian missions to many, many countries, listening to the podcast in, this is a lot, Haiti, the Congo, Burma, Sudan, South Sudan, Jordan, Colombia, Nigeria, Rwanda, Wakanda, Uganda, Burundi, Liberia, Turkey, Greece, Lebanon, Cybertron, Puerto Rico, Spain, the Netherlands, Pakistan, and Senegal. And he believes that he may have set a record previously held by Jordan Parisi, Zach Parisi's brother.
We're number one in all those countries, by the way. I just checked the ratings.
Oh, that's great.
Nice.
Nice to be number one someplace. Lake Street Handshake Jesus sends his dad a happy heavenly birthday and happy 33rd to ambulance driver Jesus, headed to the fair today. That's 93X News.
Minnesota Twins interview on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Boy, we just had a fan come onto the field and right and tangle up with Ronald Acuna. Ronald's fine. He is up, but the fan has been taken to the ground by security. I think there might have actually been two fans. Yeah, there's two fans that came out toward Ronald Acuna in right field.
This is absolutely unacceptable. The fact that a fan could even get that close to Ronald is absolutely unacceptable.
Ronald's fine. It all happened so quickly, and all of a sudden, there was the commotion in right field, and two fans converged on Ronald Acuna.
All right, here we go. It's Tuesday. Every Tuesday, we're lucky enough to get to rap with one of the coolest cats in town, and that's Twins play-by-play babe, Dick Bremer. Hello, Dick.
Good morning.
Dick, do you do a Bob Casey impersonation?
I think any Twins fan who was alive when Bob did the PA as a Bob Casey imitation. Some are better than others, but what a distinctive voice, and he was a great guy, man.
I would love your take on mine, because here's what's going on, Dick. We have so much company this morning. So many people wanted to be a guest here, to be part of your appearance. I just thought they should be announced like they're coming to the plate for an at-bat and Bob Casey is announcing them. So can I try this and you give me like a 1 to 10?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, okay.
No, but if you're going to do Bob Casey, then somewhere along the line there has to be a mispronunciation.
All right. I'll try this. I've done this on and off. I don't really know if I'm. So I'll start with this. From KARE 11 News, Randy Shaver. Randy, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was terrible.
I didn't ask you, did I? Randy, was I talking to you or was I talking to Dick Bremer? Let's hear yours, Randy. All right, how about this? Also from KARE 11 News, Randy's boss, Janel Klein. See, I'm hearing it. I am. I'm hearing Bob Casey. Dick, tell me so far, how am I doing?
You're doing okay. A letter grade C-.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep going. Randy, please. Dick and I are having a conversation. From St. Cloud State University, C. Willi Myles.
That's the mispronunciation.
There's a mispronunciation. C is really C. Willi Myles. Hi, C. Willi. Hi, Janelle.
Hi.
All right, I thought I'd take a stab at it. We've got unbelievable Dick Bremer. You know, not that we ever have a shortage of things to talk about when you make an appearance on this program. But as far as on-the-field terrific play and, how should I say this, wildly bizarre secondary baseball stories, this is the appearance this morning for you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, and most of it's pretty good.
Most of it's pretty good. Since we started with the Ronald Acuna thing, we might as well go from there. Might as well start there. I don't know what is wrong with people anymore. I don't understand what is wrong with us. Last night in Colorado, the Braves are playing the Rockies, and two morons rush the field, and then Ronald Acuna ends up getting knocked on his ass. Did everyone see the video of this? Everybody?
Yeah. You can see it on our website.
Yep.
Again, I'm sorry to blow up again, but this is all social media. This is all because of stupid, unnecessary social media. Because some dork wants to jump on the field and get a selfie, and then he'll be popular on Instagram. And again, he can get a guest on a guest spot on Khloe Kardashian's podcast or something. That's all that. One guy rushes on the field, tries to take a selfie. Some other weirdo jumps on the field, knocks Acuna down. Security has to pounce on these people. Acuna is fine. He said it was a little scary. I don't know. I don't know about you, Dick Bremer, but I'm way beyond this. I'm so tired of this gimmick.
Well, unfortunately, it's been going on for as long as I can remember. There used to be a woman who would jump out of the stands and go up and kiss a ball player, Morgana, the kissing bandit.
Right.
There were the two guys at Wrigley Field, and every time I see Rick Mundy, the outstanding broadcaster for the Dodgers, he was playing for the Cubs at the time. This was towards the end, I guess, of the big protest era, and they wanted to burn the American flag in the outfield at Wrigley. And Rick Mundy infamously ran up and wouldn't let them do that, ran a good distance, picked up the flag before they could set it on fire with lighter fluid. Stuff like that happens. I think if you can, and it shouldn't be too difficult, imagine the feeling of the player or players on the field, because they really don't know what's going to happen next, right?
Right.
I mean, if somebody's crazy enough to run out onto the field, they're capable of just about anything.
Mm-hmm.
And
look at the two guys at the White Sox game. The two guys at the White Sox game from a number of years ago that beat up the first base coach.
It was a father-son.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and then they had the situation in Chicago a couple days ago where there was gunfire inside the ballpark, and a couple of people got hit. So it's a crazy world we live in, and I always think of the players, because they're pretty defenseless out there, right? And they really don't know what's going to happen next.
So you mentioned this has been going on for years. You use Morgana, the kissing bandit, as an example, and a couple other wackos sprinkled in there somewhere. But doesn't it seem to me like this is way more often now than it ever was before? And they're usually carrying their cell phone so they can be, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it's all social media driven. I don't know how to deter it, other than to make it public. Okay, you come on the field, you're going to be, you're going to be in jail for a while. Maybe that would be the biggest deterrent to all of this, is to make it very clear what the penalty is. Now, you don't do that. We usually don't. I can't remember ever seeing it at Yankee Stadium, because the theory is, well, you're just going to say goodbye to your family for a long period of time if you do that at Yankee Stadium. And maybe that's what we should be doing up here. Of course, we don't show this stuff. We had some idiot run on the field. I forget where it was, someplace on the road.
Oh yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and eventually they caught the guy, and maybe our job as broadcasters not to publicize it, endorse it in any way, because we don't, but make it very clear. Okay, you remember the guy who ran on the field last night? Well, he's got 2 weeks in jail or something like that, and make that part.
Yeah.
Maybe we should, as broadcasters, try to follow up on stuff like that and make it very clear to the viewing audience that it just ain't worth it.
Yeah. I'm tired of the bit. All right. Since you mentioned the shooting in Chicago, we'll cover the ridiculous things, and we'll get to actual baseball here, because there's so much of both. See, Willi Myles, did you hear about this? The White Sox game over the weekend, all of a sudden a couple ladies are shot. And did you hear about this?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And you reacted like maybe you hadn't heard it earlier. They didn't know if the bullets came from outside the stadium, inside the stadium. Both women were fine. Here's the latest on that. The gun involved in that shooting Friday night at the White Sox ballpark was snuck into the ball game, tucked inside a woman's belly fat.
Oh no. I didn't hear that.
No. That's awful.
The woman reportedly wanted to smuggle a gun into the ballpark, so she tucks it under a roll or something. She set off the metal detector 3 times, but the security staff, thought there was something wrong with their equipment. They didn't want to go too far, with their search. They thought, well, it must just be a glitch, and they let her in. And then, but I still don't fully understand. Josh, can you help me out? Then the woman who snuck the game in her belly, snuck the gun in her belly fat, she was one of the women who got shot. Correct?
Yeah. So
so this was an accidental.
It could have been an accident.
Yeah, that's what
they're still investigating, obviously.
Yeah, because why did she have such a why? Just why would she want to bring it in so bad?
I don't
just to
know.
Be like, hey, look at me, I can do it.
And then once the shots are fired, and both of them are wounded, somebody picked up the gun and ran away with it. So this is it's so bizarre. I don't know what we're doing anymore.
Now here's I have no proof, but here's what I believe happened. If it was tucked in all that belly fat, I'm assuming the gun got hot and just went off.
Well, I guess that is possible. I never considered
Maybe
that.
she burped from a Chicago dog.
or
killed a lot of people.
or, and hear me out, again, the gun got hot.
Yeah.
It just didn't want to be there anymore. That's a lot of fat. If you couldn't be found with a metal detector, that's a lot of fat surrounding you, man. And that gun just like, you know what? I'm used to being in leather in a holster. This is not right.
This is beyond. I just can't comprehend it. Like Ashley said, why were you bringing a gun into the game? And then who picks up a gun and just runs away with it after something like this?
Yeah.
I don't. Dick Bremer, I just don't. So, I mean, they're going to have to. What are we going to be faced with now? I mean, if you set off the metal detectors, next thing you know, you're in a room doing a strip search or something because.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Well, I know at Target Field, the security details are very thorough and very good. And I just happened to run into the head of Twin Security yesterday afternoon before the game. Before we found out that the gun was fired within the ballpark, and they, it's a tough situation, and it was made even tougher when they found out that it was within the ballpark. And I can promise you that already tight security, particularly at Target Field, is going to be tightened up even more. And if the metal detector, sounds off, then that's almost certainly never going to happen again. So maybe it was a good thing that it happened, and no one was more seriously hurt.
Man. Dick, do you do a Jesse Ventura impersonation?
I don't, no.
Okay, I'm kidding around. You don't have to do and I won't either. Now, on a less serious note, this is some more shenanigans from, this was an independent league baseball game. Okay, Dick Bremer, in all your years, have you ever seen an umpire get ejected?
No.
Well, this happened in an independent league game. Big delay in a game between the New York City Boulders and the Tri-City Valley Cats. The Valley Cats. There was a big argument between an umpire and a player, to just kind of make a long story short. Big screaming match between an umpire and a player. And the umpire got pretty pissed off, and he shoved the player a little bit. He gave him almost like a double shot to the abdomen.
It was a good shove.
As they came belly to belly, the umpire kind of stuck his fists out and gave him a little jab in the gut, and the umpire got ejected along with the player.
Tucker Nathans was just ejected by Warren Nicholson. Now he'll get his money's worth. TJ Stanton sprinted down from the third base coaching box, getting in Nicholson's face. Now Reed Hoover trying to get Nicholson back from Nathans. They are going nose to nose here. TJ standing with his arms folded now. And now Nicholson just made contact with Nathans. And TJ is pulling Tucker out of the fray. And in all my years of watching baseball at every level imaginable, I have never seen an umpire ejected from a game.
And there he goes. He kind of walked off. Someone opened the gate for him and let him out, and that was the end of his night.
Well, see you later.
Yep.
Who had the authority to eject the umpire? Because I always understood that they were, on the field at least, the ultimate authorities.
That's the part that isn't completely clear to me. When watching the video and reading the story, it never really indicates who stepped up and said, look, you have to leave as well to the umpire. I can't answer that for you, Dick.
I think it was one of the fellow umps.
I think it was the home plate umpire that threw out the first base umpire.
That would make the most sense. Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't make that clear. It was a first base umpire, not the home plate umpire, the crew chief would have to be the one who threw, right, Dick Bremer?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Well, maybe we'll see that in a major league game at some point.
That'd be awesome.
Based on what we've seen with the umpiring, might not be the worst idea in the world.
My guess is Aaron Boone.
What about Angel Hernandez? Isn't he the guy nobody likes?
Aaron Boone's been the manager that keeps getting into it with the umps lately.
And yeah, Josh is right. I think it's Angel Hernandez gets picked on a lot. Dick, I bet you'd love to call such a thing.
That would be fun. It'd be something I've never seen before. We've had so few umpire-manager incidents, coincidentally, since Ron Gardenhire no longer is manager of the Twins. That was pretty much a weekly thing with him. That was kind of fun. But we were just talking about this, I think, off the air the other day, Glenn Perkins and I, how really you only see those things, those skirmishes with managers anymore at home plate because of balls and strikes. Everything else has been cleaned up because of replay and all that. So there really is very little of that anymore except for balls and strikes. And hopefully, in my lifetime, they'll get that cleaned up too.
I hear you. Oh, Dick Bremer and Randy Shaver will remember this name. One of the managers in this independent league game where the umpire got ejected along with the player. One of the managers, Pete Incaviglia.
Oh, sure.
Very
protected.
Pete Incaviglia.
Did you see?
And I had a chance just a few days ago to talk with Frank Viola, who is still a pitching coach in an independent league. And Frank got tossed in that league. They were the first league, the Atlantic League, I believe it was, to experiment with the electronic strike zone.
Yeah.
And eventually we're going to have it in the big leagues. But so Frank's the pitching coach for this team, and the electronic strike zone called a strike on a pitch that bounced well in front of the plate and then through the box. And Frank got ejected by complaining with the computer.
Yep. So he's the first ever manager at any level to be ejected by, have an argument with a computer umpire.
Right. And within that, of course, if we have it, when we have it in the big leagues, the home plate umpire will still be there to try to make sure something like that doesn't happen in a game. But that's something to get tossed because you argued with the computer.
That is. Who was the umpire, Dick Bremer, that Gardy and Torrey Hunter always seemed to butt heads with, and when Torrey had to tear his jersey off that night?
Probably Joe West, I would guess. I was one of Gardy's favorites. Gardy came out at Fenway Park once. Joe West was behind the plate, and he complained about something. Now, the dugouts at Fenway Park are a long way from home plate, more than twice as far as they are at Target Field. So by the time Gardy got out there to near home plate, Joe West, don't step on my dirt, meaning the dirt around home plate. And, of course, Gardy didn't need that invitation a second time, so he went on the dirt and got immediately tossed.
You're right about Joe West. I was at the game when Joe West and Torrey Hunter clashed, and Torrey stripped off his jersey. We were going buck wild in the stands. Paul Molitor came out. You normally never saw Paul Molitor get too fired up, but he got in Joe West's face. They had like a career rivalry, Joe West and Torrey Hunter. All right, now actual baseball. Dick Bremer and my damn Royce Lewis. Well, that was so thrilling last night, his second Grand Slam in 2 days. And just watching the baseball travel at Target Field the last few games. Matt Wallner and Jorge Polanco both went the third tank last night in the win over the Guardians. They fell behind but came back, hitting bombs. Now they got a 7-game lead on Cleveland.
Yeah, and they were all great. You fall behind 5-0 on Sunday, and the Lewis Grand Slam leads a comeback, and then it's 4-0 last night, and again the Grand Slam. The one I really liked was Polanco's because he hit the ball into the third deck, I believe it was, and out the exit. And metaphorically, that might, with the baseball, that might have gone, taken with it Cleveland's hopes of beating the Twins and winning the division, because it just was a convincing comeback last night. This team's playing awfully well, and we've been saying this now for weeks. It's the three rookies that are leading the way. Kepler's been great. Polanco's coming around, which is all good, but at the pivotal point of the season, it sure seems like the rookies, Lewis, Julian, and Wallner, are the guys that kind of took this team out of a funk it was in, and now this offense is suddenly looking a whole lot more potent.
Yeah. Absolutely. 70 home runs since the All-Star break now for the Twins. That's the second most in the major leagues. And the pitchers who have been tremendous the last 3-4 games. Keuchel, Josh Winder, and then last night you get the rookie kid, Cody Funderburk, gets a win in his major league debut, couple 3 strikeouts. That was fun to watch.
Winder started this nice homestand with 3 hitless innings on Thursday night, and he did the same thing again last night. Keuchel came out of the pen in relief of Ober and gave the Twins 5 shutout innings. For the longest time, it's been the Twins starting rotation that's been the highlight of the pitching staff, but on this homestand, it's actually been the relievers.
Back to Royce Lewis's second Grand Slam in 2 days. No other Twins player has ever hit Grand Slams on consecutive days.
Killebrew didn't, Allison didn't, Oliva didn't. It really goes back all the way through the Washington Senators years as well. So what we've seen is really something special, and suddenly this team is one of the best in baseball. We've been on at this point many times this year, and then they would go to Kansas City and get swept, and you really didn't gain anything. So we'll see what happens here with the next week or so. 2 more with Cleveland, then 3 in Texas, and then 3 in Cleveland. And if they continue to play this well, they could have a rather large lead with just about 3 weeks to go.
Tonight, the matchup, Dick Bremer, Pablo Lopez, and another rookie for Cleveland by the name of Gavin Williams, 640 on Bally Sports. The other outstanding accomplishments on the field that I wanted to cover real quick, Julio Rodriguez. I saw J-Rod, and I was trying to come up with what the J stood for. Julio Rodriguez had another 4-hit game for the Mariners in their win over Oakland last night. Seattle is just wicked hot right now, and Rodriguez is, a 13-game hitting streak, 5 homers, 6 doubles, 21 RBIs. He's the only player since 1900 with 5 4-hit games in a 10-game. He's just tearing it up.
Right, and we kind of saw this coming. We had the Mariners in Seattle and in Minnesota right before the All-Star break, and you could kind of sense that, A, the Mariners were getting hot, and B, this was going to be the guy that was going to lead them. Basically, what Royce Lewis has done in a matter of a few weeks with the Twins, Rodriguez has been doing it for pretty much a month and a half now, and it's going to be a wild race in the American League West because Seattle, their last 10 games are 7 with Texas and 3 with Houston. So this 3-team race is likely going to go right down to the wire. Mm-hmm. I can't believe, by the way, here we are pretty deep into my segment here, and we haven't talked the least little bit about the perspiration issue in Milwaukee and what Glenn Perkins was talking about.
I can't remember now, Dick Bremer. Refresh my memory.
Well, he was accurately talking about why the home plate umpire, it was a very hot day, heat index of 114 degrees, and I won't try to duplicate or replicate what Glenn was accurately describing, but they had an issue because the ball pouch for the home plate umpire was saturated with perspiration.
Yeah. Now I do remember this. Yes.
And so I'm trying to add what I can. I'm trying to add what I can without, getting myself suspended, right?
Right.
But my predominant thought was, I'm going to hear about this on Tuesday morning.
Man, I was watching when it happened, and I was amused by the way the both of yous were sidestepping suspension, like you said, by not saying certain words in a certain way. Yeah, you would think that this program would have been all over it I don't know. I got a drinking problem. I forgot, I guess. Dick Bremer. But that was very funny. Very, very funny. God, that was brutally hot when you guys were in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and Maeda pitched awfully well that day and didn't pitch so well last night. But Ryan Jeffers caught that game, and it was pretty miserable. And the outcome wasn't what the Twins wanted, but thankfully they've come home now and won 4 out of 5.
A saturated pouch with balls in it. That's what the boys were trying to...
It writes itself.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Dick Bremer will be watching, as usual, tonight, 6:40 on Bally Sports for the Twins and Guardians. Thanks, as always, for your time.
All right. Should be fun to watch again tonight.
Hey, Dick.
Oh, there goes Willi Myles.
Just so you know, I have good news for you, my friend.
What's that? Your mother's forgiven me?
Absolutely, man. Let me tell you why. My dear friend Bill O'Rourke, was former police chief in Prior Lake, had your book, and he knows my mom loves Twins baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And he heard, I told him the story about what you did when you called her on her birthday and was going to have, anyway, he gave her your book. She read your whole book. She absolutely adores you now. Absolutely read your story, and she said, I can see how he made that mistake. She said, that's not the first mistake he made. At least he owns up to them. And she read it cover to cover, my friend, in a couple of days. She's 93 years old, and she absolutely loved it.
You said a few weeks ago that your mother, Willi Myles, held a little bit of anger towards Dick Bremer because of the Twins' shortcomings on the field, which is totally unfair, right?
Right.
Right, okay. Now she's read Dick's book, and now she's in love.
Right. But she doesn't like people telling her they're going to have a good season, then they don't. She just believes Dick because he's there every day.
Right.
So he should have known. That's what she said.
Makes sense.
Well, I hope for your mother's sake she wasn't watching the game in Milwaukee when it was so hot.
Oh, she was watching. Dick, she watched every Twins game. Trust me.
Thanks, Dick Bremer.
All right.
We'll talk to you next week. Oh, yeah, so the boys, I remember that now. I was watching the game. The boys were doing everything in their power not to say sweaty balls.
That makes it better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Balls are sweaty.
Oh, man. It's nice to have Janel Klein and Willi Myles with us.
Always.
And Randy Shaver, of course, by damn.
You got a thank you text, Willi, from the Rosemont lacrosse team.
Yes.
Yeah, you talked to the boys out there,
I did.
And they were very grateful.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. They're good people.
You gave them a pep talk?
Yeah, sort of that, and maybe just a little bit of motivational.
Sure.
Be all you can be with that stick and net in your hand. And good luck.
Whatever the hell goes on in a lacrosse field.
Yeah, whatever that is. I did the best I could with what I had.
Whatever it is you kids are supposed to be doing out there, go do it with pride.
Exactly.
Well, physics teacher Jesus, he texted in and wanted to make sure we passed that along to you.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. No, they were really nice. It was super nice. Great facility out there, and great group of young men that I spoke with.
Excellent.
Great coaches, too.
Oh, you know what occurred to me a few minutes ago? We were talking about the gal who snuck a gun into the White Sox ballpark in her belly fat. We were talking about, those metal detectors. Well, Christ, if those don't do the job, then what's next? We're going to get strip searched at the ball. Josh got strip searched at the airport once.
Twice?
Yeah.
When they were doing random, I was the guy. They just thought, well, here's trouble.
That's not random.
I mean,
that's not random.
Intimidating appearance, of course, as you
mean
know.
Like strips twice in one trip? They just couldn't get enough the first time?
Twice in a couple of the trips we went on.
Yeah, was I with you both? I remember one time you got pulled aside to get strip searched.
Yeah, and one time I had to get in my underwear in front of everybody. This was shortly after September 11th.
I think it was a joke. They were just trying to see your package.
That could be. They were having a bet.
It was funny, too, because I think I was drunk and had drugs on me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they just pointed to me, pulled me aside, went, they checked everything I had in my bag, and then, speaking of bags, I had to get mine out, basically. Right there in front of everybody.
I'm carrying, and I'm intoxicated, walking with Josh. They pulled Josh aside and tell him to remove all his clothing.
He's got to be the dealer.
Yeah,
maybe. He's holding it. That guy, there's no way he's carrying it.
How's the fair going, Randy?
It's still there.
Yeah.
Liney Lodge Jesus said, see, Willie, you performed at their band shell years ago. They miss you. They want you back.
Oh, thank you very much, man. I'm getting a message here from Fire Jesus. Come to find out, that was the Leo I was talking to before when I was here. The last time I was here, the one that I was going back and forth with.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's from my wife's hometown.
From your wife's hometown?
Yeah, a little hometown up there. So.
Maybe there's a chance you guys are Eskimo brothers.
Oh, yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
Josh said.
No, no.
Well, no. Oh.
No, he's from my wife's hometown, so they would be Eskimo family or something. I don't know.
I think that's how that works.
Anyway, he's hitting me up here. Hi, Leo. Have a good day, brother.
Are you counting down the days, Randy? You're, 4 more days?
I don't have to be at the fair through Wednesday.
Oh, you're at in the home stretch, man. You're at the finish line.
Yeah, because I'm at high school football starts on Thursday, so I'll be in Elk River on Thursday and Lakeville South on Friday. So.
Oh, my damn. Covering the high school football again. Maybe we have a high school. I thought I had a high school football story. Oh, no, Josh had a high school football story in his news report where a coach got arrested for punching one of his players in the stomach.
Oh, boy.
That video's on 93x.com.
Yeah, I saw that.
Psycho.
Coach got a little fired up. I do have a high school football story, and then we'll move on to some other. I wanted to ask C. Willi Myles, where did I have this? Okay. Now I can't find it.
Was this the? I can.
About
is it the horse one?
Yeah, about the horse urine. Randy Shaver, and C. Willi Myles.
Confused.
Did you ever have this happen when you were playing high school football? Did you ever have a game delayed by horse urine?
No, did not.
No.
Any live mascots take the field when you were playing high school or college sports, C. Willie?
No, the closest we came is we ran over a cow on the ride home from Dubuque.
Oh, the team bus rolled over a cow?
Yeah, the bus ran over a cow.
Oh, no.
Did you keep it?
Did we what?
Did you keep it? That's a lot of beef.
No, we did not.
I figured
Done some damage, dude.
I mean,
it was a delay getting home. Yeah.
So you left all those steaks just in the middle of the road?
I don't remember the circumstances, but it was a late night drive and we hit a cow.
That's normal.
You must have felt that, like Ashley's saying. You must have friggin' felt that. So,
yeah, we did.
High school football. Thank you, Josh. I don't know what I did with the story, but Josh just pumped it out for me real quick. I don't know where this was. Arizona. High school football game. It's one of those deals where before the game, one of the schools has a live horse mascot, and some high school kid rides the sumbitch out onto the team logo, and yay, let's go Broncos or whoever. And the horse just took a massive whiz. And because of these that imitation field turf type stuff.
Oh, sure.
It doesn't soak in. It just left a big pool of horse urine on the field.
Oh, my God.
And the high school kid who's in charge of the horse had to go out there with a shovel. It was tough to watch.
I felt bad for the kid because it looked like he had never done it before, and he looked very, very embarrassed.
So the only one I can remember is the school that we played. Their name was the Rattlers.
Yeah.
And they always had like a fake snake that they threw around.
Oh, dude.
And somebody thought it'd be cool to have one in a cage, and it got out.
Oh.
And no one knew where it was.
Oh,
and that was the most intense game that we had. People were constantly looking around their feet.
Oh.
I'll never forget that. They went to the cage to get it, and it was gone. And they said on the PA, literally on the PA, please look around. The snake has gotten out.
Please look around.
So and then again, when you're out on the football field, I'm in the huddle looking. I don't even remember the play anymore. I'm calling a play, and I get to the line of scrimmage. I don't know what I said because I'm looking around on the ground looking for a snake to crawl between my center's butthole. And I was like, what?
I would be very distracted
It
by
was
such a
very.
thing.
Oh my God! It was crazy.
Oh man. Okay, so
Never found him.
No, it was long gone. into someone's duffel bag and on to the next town, I imagine. As you know, another NFL season is coming. God help me. The league is talking up something here they're calling the world's largest tailgate party for the NFL season opener. Not to be confused with the WWE's world's largest toga party, which was, of course, WrestleMania 8, I believe. So here's the deal. Tell me if you know any of these people. Saturday Night Live star Heidi Gardner will be among several entertainers expected to take part in this tailgate party before the NFL kicks off their first game of the year in Kansas City next month sometime, a couple weeks from now.
Well, that's a great place to tailgate, number one, so that makes sense. Should be a fun game, too. I mean, it's the Lions in Kansas City. That's the opener on that Thursday night.
Yeah.
So it's not surprising that NBC's pulling out, some of their TV people to be a part of that. So
the big part.
I mean, I can't think of a better place other than maybe Lambeau Field to tailgate.
Arrowhead has a massive parking lot. Yeah, that's what they're known for. So
yeah,
they're going to have a party in the parking lot, and then it's going to be, what's the term that people use with computers? Cast? How do I say that? It's going to be...
Streamed?
Streamed, yes, to people who have computers. Let me tell you who else is going to be there. A YouTube star people called the Merrill Twins. Anybody?
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Not familiar, no.
Okay, how about DJ and producer duo called Two Friends?
No.
Okay.
It sounds like NBC's primetime lineup to me.
Wow.
Never heard of it. Never seen it. Never heard of it.
Have you seen that? No, don't know who that is. No, never seen that one.
Well,
Maybe. Oh, no.
You've been kicking NBC's programming in the nuts for years now. You don't like the shows that they have on.
Nobody watches them. I mean,
All right, let me try this out.
There's really nothing on there except for Law and Order.
And, of course, KARE 11 News. Internet personality Tabitha Swatosh.
Whoa. No.
All right, well, fine. That's fine. But here's where I'm going to grab you. And nobody's burned out on this gimmick at all. Nobody. Are you ready? Maybe you're thinking Rob Gronkowski when I say burned out gimmick. No. But it's close. It's close. Also at the tailgate party, Donna Kelsey, the mother of Chief star Travis Kelsey and Jason Kelsey.
Oh, no.
You've got two kids who play football. It runs in your blood, Mrs. Sorry, I blew up. Tired of that.
You love the Kelseys.
Oh, this is fun. A Milwaukee bar is offering up free booze every time that know-it-all gas bag Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets lose a ball game.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
I love when bars do bits like this.
Man, Green Bay is a petty town, isn't it?
Well, it's Milwaukee, to be specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Wisconsin.
It's
just petty.
Yeah.
Your quarterback leaves, man. You just wish him just horrible things.
Well, yeah. I mean, you remember the Brent Favre thing?
Right.
Suddenly, our public enemy number one became the handsomest man in town.
That was fun, especially knowing people who were leading that charge that we used to work with who were they hated Brett Favre, wouldn't give him any credit for anything he ever did. Oh, no, you guys had me wrong all those years.
Right. And then, of course, in Green Bay, their top dog was the most hated man in town. Yeah. So Jack's American Pub, a bar in Milwaukee. Every time the gas bag and the Jets lose, the restaurant will cover your tab.
Oh, wow.
So
wow.
There's some fine print, of course. You have to.
Yeah, there's got to be like one drink or something. They're not going to cover your tab.
Here's what it is, Randy Shaver. You must open the tab at least 15 minutes before kickoff. It doesn't include food, but that's fine. You cover my drinks. That's still nice. Right. You know, you get a group of 10, 12 people drinking beer.
Okay, so what they're doing is you've got to sit through the entire game, right? Mm-hmm. So 3 hours you're paying. Does that mean if they lose, it's retroactive to when you picked up, you started drinking?
I've never been in the business. I don't know if I understand what you mean.
Must be, yeah.
Okay.
It only applies if the gas bag is starting the game. Right. And this and that. But at any rate, if you show up 15 minutes before they start playing and you open your tab and the gas bag is playing quarterback, and they lose, you'll have your drinks covered. That's still a
So
pretty good deal.
here's a strategy for that. Then you open up a tab and you drink slowly. If they're losing and it looks like if they're going to lose, then you just start drinking like a mother.
And Randy Shaver, some top shelf stuff.
Oh, yeah, get the good stuff.
Exactly.
No more Pfeiffer for me.
Yeah, it reminds me of when me and the Big Al were drinking one afternoon, and we spotted his brother across the bar. And we said to the bartender, we said, get that guy, me and Big Al, we said, get that guy over there a drink on us, a round on us. And his brother notices me and the Big Al, and the bartender says, yeah, these guys want to buy you a drink. And his brother goes, oh, they want to buy me a drink? 3 top shelf Long Island. We were out about $48 before we knew what was going on. The Vikings cut me and Wapple's favorite XFL quarterback guy.
Oh, really?
Former star XFL quarterback Jordan Ta'amu. He's been cut, Wapple.
Didn't even give him a chance.
No, they didn't give him a chance. The Vikings have to cut down.
Might they bring him back for their practice squad, though?
Oh, I don't know. You'd know better about that whole practice squad. You were a practice squad quality player. You know more about it.
Excuse me?
Well, you were probably only good enough to maybe make the practice squad. Did I mispronounce something along the way? You heard me. See, Willi Myles is agreeing with me. Giving me a thumbs up from across the...
I was agreeing with myself.
Oh.
That's what I did.
They got to make a bunch of cuts here, the Vikings, before what, tomorrow?
I think they have to get by today. They have to get down to 53 today. Yeah.
All right, that's a hell of a deal. Oh, here it is. Here's the horse urine story. I had it buried under everything.
Under your belly fat.
Yeah. Where the hell did that story go? Check your belly fat, dummy. There it is.
You know, that's funny. If you can smuggle a gun in your belly fat, you should be able to smuggle in the rest of your food for the day too, and not have to order anything.
Man,
nice belly hot dog.
Couple of pieces of pizza and a hot dog, and who needs to buy anything?
Yeah, a couple of Gatorades too, apparently.
I'm more partial to smuggling raisins, but.
In the winter, especially. Ex-hotel Jesus said that she once snuck a Mountain Dew into the Metrodome when she was 18 in her bra.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Wow.
I was once at a movie, and I noticed something smelled good, some good food, and I thought maybe somebody ordered something. No, 2 rows in front of me, a little bit to the left, a guy had brought in a rotisserie chicken to the movie.
Oh, you must have been at one of our movie theaters. You go to a movie theater, we would bring in food that was just a normal thing, like chicken, ribs. when we go down south, buddy, when you go to our movie theater, they charge you the movie was twice as more expensive to come in because they know the people weren't gonna. Only thing we were gonna buy there was something to drink. Yeah. So we were bringing in our own food. We didn't eat movie theater food,
Josh, we got to finally put a band together, a rock band.
I'm down.
Janelle, you want in on the band?
I'm in. I don't know what I could contribute, but I would be in. Maybe I could be the manager.
No, we want a singer.
Yeah, can you sing?
No, of course I can't.
Try
sing.
this. I don't want to wait.
Can you dance?
For my life to be. Oh, it's one of my favorite songs to sing on this program.
He does. He sings it often.
I love it. It's a theme to an old sitcom.
Do you dance at all? You never played an instrument?
I played the clarinet in middle school.
Ooh, let's do it.
That is not a band.
We can have a clarinet solo.
That's not a band instrument.
See, Willie, do you know how to play a guitar or anything like that?
Saxophone.
Really?
Bro.
Yeah. That's sexy cool. Sax,
cool.
baby.
That'll get the chicks.
We already have a saxophone player.
Josh, what, did he win an award for that?
I did, yes.
Would you like to tell us about it?
It was a writing award.
Handed to me by the Hard of Hearing.
Here's the thing. Here's what we got to get a band going. It says here, local and regional bands will now have a chance to perform at the XL Energy Center during the upcoming pig season. Live musical.
Yeah, we had one of those bands at the fair yesterday.
You did?
That's cool.
Yeah.
What style of music? Do you remember?
It was a St. Paul kids rock band.
Nice.
They actually were pretty good.
They weren't a ska band, were they?
No.
Okay, because I'll throw feces at ska bands. Live musical performances will happen during pregame or intermissions coming up at Saturday home games throughout the pig season. You get a live band going during the intermission, or what did I say? Pregame or intermission.
Can you imagine being a young band? How cool would that be?
That'd be awesome.
That'd be all right. They're looking for groups. Well, here's what it says. They're looking for groups with an upbeat tempo. Hey, give us something upbeat around here. A little something. Unplugged or acoustic performances. So it sounds like they don't want you to be too damn loud. Unplugged or acoustic performances.
Yeah, that's...
as well as, there's a possibility here for all of us. A solo artist. Janelle, maybe you're better off going solo.
Oh, God.
Duets. They'll take a duet.
Sure.
It's like, or a trio, like a barbershop trio. Me, Randy, and C. Willi Myles.
I love that kind of thing, don't you? The barbershop trios?
Not really.
Really,
no.
You don't? I think it's
Good
great.
night, ladies. Good night. What else is happening? They'll take a quartet. I mean, whatever the hell. Whatever you are. You can submit your demo tape. I imagine go to the Wild's website is probably where I don't have exact information. But I think we could put something together.
So, Josh, we had the same issue as you do for your podcast for our newscast yesterday because they show up and they play cover music. They'll play music of, other people's songs, right?
Sure.
But we can't play that during our newscast because of the music rights.
Oh, man.
The band, these are all kids who are like 14 years old. So the band shows up and they say, we ask, well, what are they going to, this is before the show, what are you going to play? And they told us, and we go, well, you can't play that.
Oh, no.
During our newscast. So they had to make something up.
Oh, no.
Oh, my
on
God.
the scene in order to play anything during our news.
That's friggin' hilarious.
We felt so bad for them, and they did it, and it was fine. But obviously in the commercial breaks, when we weren't broadcasting live, they could play, which they did, and it was great. But I felt so bad for them because the look on their face was, what? We've been practicing this the whole time.
We done told everybody we're
gonna play Enter Sandman. That is so effing funny, Ray. I wish I would have seen the looks on their faces when you said, no, you gotta come up with...
How did that get through all the layers of people that plan everything?
Right.
Oh, good point. I never considered that.
Oh, my God.
But they have a live shot. Let's go to the kids, and they're just not playing anything.
Let's do that thing we were practicing in the garage that we never finished.
Oh, my God.
You can't play licensed music. Right. We have that same problem around here.
Well, the sax solo will not be on the podcast for that very reason.
Unfortunately. That's friggin' great. So the kids had to say a 2 and a 3 and a burr.
Yeah, podcasters have never heard how great that sax solo is.
That's a tough group of 14-year-olds to say, F it, just start the camera, we'll play something.
No kidding.
Yeah, seriously.
Let's do it live.
They must be talented. Elementary music teacher, she's just said that if they'll take a bunch of fourth graders on recorders, she can hook us up.
Oh,
she's got
that
a
would
couple
be
of those.
so cute.
Man. All right, Randy Shaver, thanks for everything. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
We're going to be back here shortly
Bye,
with
Randy.
more C. Willi Myles and more Janel Klein on the program.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace or AC is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Are you currently enjoying the show on the Stitcher app? Then you need to know Stitcher is going away on August 29th. Yep, going away, as in kaput, gone, dead. Rest in peace, Stitcher, and thanks for 15 years of service to the podcast community. So switch to another podcast app and follow this show there. Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Absolutely fantastic. Janel Klein and C. Willi Myles have joined us this morning. I looked over at you a minute ago, Janel Klein, and you looked exactly like Lita Ford from the Kiss Me Deadly video.
Really?
I apparently missed a big hair flip.
With the leather jacket? I went to a party last Have either of you been off to the state fair yet, Janelle or C. Willi?
We have not. We were just talking about it.
Is it something that you guys care about? You get enthusiastic about the fair?
No, I get enthusiastic about eating at the fair.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's about it.
Well, you guys are both more than welcome to join us Friday. We're out there again 10 to noon.
I was just asking Wapo what he ate last week. He gave me the rundown.
Jesus. You know what? Let's not mention the food because I don't want anyone to be insulted. But I'll tell you this much. All you have to do is hand it to Wapple, and he will begin sweeping it into his mouth. Wapple, remember this? Somebody walked up and gave you some food. You didn't ask any questions. You just started firing it down. And then 10 minutes later, I said, was that any good? And he said, no.
But I don't want to be rude.
You look like a grade school kid windmilling Rice Krispies into his mouth.
You went for it.
Well, and I'm skinny too, so it's like, why is the skinny kid really into all that food?
That's how it goes a lot of times.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna head out on I think Saturday. I'm supposed to go out there. My friends are performing at the Lonnie.
What are you going to eat, cool. C. Willi Myles?
I only eat two things at the fair. I eat a Dino's
gyro, how do you say it?
Gyro,
yeah.
and then a funnel cake, a whole funnel cake. Whole funnel cake. I'm looking for 5,000 calories at just one meal. That's it. I'm done.
I love Dino's. We just went to Dino's over the weekend. I get crap for going to Dino's at the fair because I could get it any day of the year.
Right.
Yeah.
But I go to the fair and still get it.
Yeah, because it's different. It's different that it has that fair taste to it.
Yeah, we're going Friday and then again Sunday.
Saturday we're going to go and see my friends. The Steels are performing, so I'm going to go check them out.
It is going to get crazy hot starting on Friday.
And I bet it'll be really busy this week.
Oh, it'll be wicked busy and hotter than the surface of the... I went out there yesterday, and it got much hotter than I expected. But it wasn't horrible. It's going to be worse this weekend. But I was telling Josh earlier that my legs are as useless as dog feces after walking around yesterday. My legs are absolutely destroyed. I think I've finally hit a point in my life where I can no longer make multiple visits to the fair.
You could get a cart.
Yeah.
A little scooter.
I've tried, but everybody, whoever I'm with, thinks I'm being a prick. When I recommend, maybe I'll get on one of those carts. Maybe I'll get a scooter or so. They always say, no, you can't do that. They think I'm being a selfish prick. So, at any rate, I don't know if I'll go back just because all the walking yesterday, I'm just done. Absolutely done. But to reiterate, think about 10 to noon on Friday. We're going back out, and we got a special event on Friday. Ashley, who is absolutely petrified of clowns. See, Willi Myles, you don't have a fear of clowns, do you?
Yeah, I do, brother. Ashley just became my best friend.
I hate them so much.
With a passion. If I see, matter of fact, I'm looking at this little thing sitting in the corner. He's got a clown vibe going on, and that's why I'm keeping my eye on him. But I have a whole show, dude. I do about the run-ins I've had with a clown. I started when I was 4.5.
Well, maybe then Friday wouldn't be your day, see, Willi Myles, because we're playing a little prank on Ashley. A long time ago, she said, we were talking about tattoos, and she said, yeah, she doesn't even care what's tattooed on her body. She doesn't care. You can tattoo anything on her; it won't bother her, which is an interesting statement. And I've said many, many times, yeah, well, wait till you're 50. She wants to fight me on this, but anyway.
Every old person says that. Wait till you're older. You won't want them anymore.
And you know what, Ashley? Every damn one of us has been correct on that.
I don't know. I've heard or like seen interviews and heard from people that are of around your age, and they're like, "Nah, I don't regret it. Who cares? It's just your stupid skin. You can't take it with you." That
never happened. What you're just explaining right there. That never happened. So anyway. We've gone a different route. We're not gonna tattoo her, but we're going to get what's the term, Josh?
Well, we're gonna get face painter.
Face painter.
Well, originally we were gonna do henna, but then we decided on this other idea, which henna wouldn't do it justice.
We're gonna get a face painter, a professional, to show up and transform Ashley between 10 and noon when we're there Friday. Transform Ashley into her greatest fear, which is a clown. So maybe you wouldn't want to see that happen. Nope. And we're hoping that other professional clowns might stop by just to add to the party atmosphere.
They want to make me cry in public in front of people.
Well, we're hoping, Ashley, that maybe this will cure your fear of clowns because you'll be the clown.
The painting should go well, but the other clowns being present, I will tell you right now, that will not go well. I will cry.
So if she's a mirror, if she doesn't have a mirror, she'll never know she's a clown.
Exactly.
Well, we're going to bring a mirror.
Well, you're going to make it real.
Well, yeah, we covered that.
So you guys are going all out.
Yeah.
Dana has his Coke mirror. It's with him all the time.
Exactly.
We'll just use that.
Don't leave home without it.
So that'll be Friday. We'll get back to that on Friday.
Wow.
But I mentioned how cooked my legs are from walking around the fair.
You know what my dad did, Nick? He went and got one of those walking sticks because he didn't want to get a scooter. Because he was like, no, I'm not that old yet, but one of those walking sticks.
I don't think that what help does that give to you? Really?
I don't know. Maybe just some extra.
I mean, I
leverage.
appreciate the idea.
Balance.
Maybe I should get more involved in other things. Maybe I should get more involved in online challenges. Everybody's doing it. The never-ending online challenges that are playing a role in making our country a laughingstock, in my personal opinion. Here we go again. And it's not always the 8th graders that hop on this nonsense. If it was, it wouldn't be so embarrassing. There's a lot of grown folks. I wanted to see if Janel Klein or Willi Myles had heard anything about this. It says here, parents are traumatizing their kids with the TikTok egg prank challenge or eggplant. How do I say that? Egg prank challenge or egg prank trend.
I saw people talking about this, and usually when I see people kind of buzzing about something, I'll go and look what they're talking about. But this one just looked so exhausting from how upset everybody was that I was like, I don't even want to know, man.
I saw a woman, I saw on TikTok a woman crack that egg on her baby's forehead.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what we're talking
That's
about.
exactly
Janel Klein, the egg prank.
Yes,
You've
I've seen
Oh,
this.
you have?
Uh-huh.
Okay. For those who don't, doctors are upset by this. Doctors don't like it. This is so difficult for me to talk about. I can't stand all this. This is just so stupid. But not just the egg prank, all of it. I have to read this in order to set up the story for folks who don't follow this. In the spirit of such classics like the Pee Your Pants Challenge, where people literally peed their pants on video to be accepted by other social media dorks, the Skull Breaker Challenge, which caused people to suffer concussions, broken bones. Somebody could have died, but as far as I know, nobody did. This is the next step, the egg prank trend on TikTok. What happens here now, like Willi Myles said, parents take videos of themselves cracking eggs on their little kids' heads. And some kids have actually been seen crying on video after the prank. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. I can see a little bit of the humor in that. The confusion on the child. Why did somebody just hit me with a... but a couple of doctors have spoken up on this. And they're saying this is not something that benefits kids in any way. Really, it doesn't benefit the child in any way.
Period.
That was a line from Dr. Megan Martin, a pediatric emergency medical consultant and a TikTok star herself, by God. I don't know what she's famous for on TikTok, but that's what it says here. Several medical experts have said that While they don't think the parents in the videos seem malicious, the prank could have unintended short-term effects, including bruising the child's noggin or spreading germs. This Dr. Martin again chimes in, and she says, "We're literally smacking salmonella on the kids' foreheads."
Seriously, what?
I don't know. Is that
I just
salmonella?
can't imagine being like, ooh, wake up one day like, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to put a bruise on my kid's head. Yeah.
My favorite was one kid, I don't know, probably 2, that looked at his mom like, what the hell, man? Why would you do something like that? That didn't make any sense to me.
Josh, did you see the one where the little girl tries to get her mom back with the egg?
What, the one kid picks up the egg and tries to blast her mother over the head with it?
Yeah, it's cute.
The other concern is that kids are learning harmful behaviors because of this challenge. You agree with that, C. Willie?
Absolutely, 100%.
It says these toddler brains are developing, and they're like sponges. They're taking in everything that's happening in their environment. And to think that they're witnessing their parents purposely harming them, it was really shocking for me to see, said another doctor. So there you go.
I can guarantee, though, that there were probably times when I was a kid that my parents did want to throw eggs at me.
Oh, sure.
You guys must have been rich. We were poor. My mom would never throw food at us. You're privileged people.
I mean, my folks, my folks had to smack us around a little bit. Whatever. It's just another one of these attention-seeking
Yeah, it does
things.
sit weird with me. Like, just the way that, like, hey, boom, hit you with an egg, and then the way they laugh at it afterwards. Like, it just doesn't sit right.
When I imagine if the kid did that to them, they wouldn't see the humor in it.
No.
Exactly.
It'd be wasteful. That's the whole point. I mean, my mom spanked us. She didn't do it for likes.
Yeah, right.
Disciplinary action is what it was. It's called consequences.
That was perfectly said. Absolutely perfectly stated. That's just the next level of nonsense. That's all it is.
Stupid.
Yeah, it is stupid.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yes, it's the Half-Assed Morning Show with Janel Klein. Sitting over there all like, if I close my eyes forever, will it all remember? Janel Klein. See Willi Myles.
Brother.
Sitting in with us. Yes, see Willie.
Yeah. No, I was just saying my brother.
Word. All right, before we go, who was the last of us to be arrested?
Gotta be Wapple. Well, I guess
Anyone get arrested lately?
Shouldn't say.
No, I've never been arrested.
I've never been arrested.
All right, I'll take it.
Wapple.
He got arrested many years ago now.
Jeez, it had to have
Public
been
indecency, too.
over
It was
10
really
years ago.
nasty.
Was it over 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, that's got to be off by now.
Who did you call for help, Pablo?
I called Josh, who put me in touch with Ryan Pasiga,
Really?
criminal defense.
Yeah.
Was Josh the first person you called for help?
Yes, I did.
Isn't that the
I love
cutest
that.
thing you've heard all day?
Yeah, it's pretty cute.
Yeah, after everything that happened, I called Josh in the morning, and Josh gave me some advice.
Yeah, Wapple got a
Don't
very...
call here again.
Lose my number, a-hole.
We have that in common.
I don't know who you are.
What are you talking about, Ashley?
We have that in common. I'm like, because I imagine that's one of the worst things that's ever happened to you, Wapple. When I had one of the worst things that ever happened to me, my divorce happened. Josh was the first person I called too.
Wow.
You know, the guy's got his own problems, you know.
It's my fault. I said, hey, my life's pretty crappy. I'll be honest with you. If you could call and make me feel better with how crappy yours is, that's you being a good friend.
That's right.
I mean, all he is, Wapple and Ashley, your folks are all still alive.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Don't be calling Josh. Call your folks.
Well, I called my parents, obviously, and they got me out of jail. But, the next day I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. My parents really don't, so I called Josh.
Well, your folks knew exactly what was going on because they watched you get a DWI through their picture window. Did you know
That's
this?
a true
Janel,
story, see, Willie.
Wapple got a very teary-eyed DWI 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, and his folks watched it happen through their window. He was almost home.
Yep, point 0.09.
Oh, Wapple.
Wow.
That stinks.
You were
You know what's
almost
great?
there.
Yep.
One of the officers who was a part of this with Wapple's D-Dub, he was in Anoka County, and they started talking to him. They're like, "Oh, Wapple, sure, we know you from the show," and they made him a junior deputy.
Yeah.
Oh.
While he was drunk.
Yeah, while he's sobering up.
Yeah. They gave him a
To
little.
try and cheer him up, because, the kid was balling. They're trying to help him feel a little better. And
They gave him a little cowboy hat with a badge on it. Here you go, Buckaroo. Little pair of boots with spurs.
Oh,
cheered him up a little. They gave him a
I love that they did that for him because they knew how miserable he was. And Deputy Sheriff Jesus, he's listening, Wapple. He's the guy that gave you the sticker.
Yeah, he also is the lead singer in a local rock band.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, Weekend Picnic.
Weekend Picnic?
Yep.
Nice.
They gave him a Kit Kat and a juice box, and he was feeling better. The reason I asked who was the last of us to be arrested, there's a survey going around. The question is, if you were having a mugshot taken, would you smile? Wapple, you did not smile in yours. You could tell by the look on your face that you were the furthest from happy you've maybe ever been.
And if you want to buy one of my mug shots, you can get a mugshot shot glass at the state fair.
We still have those stupid things at the state fair?
Yeah.
The mugshot shot glass?
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I think I'm coming Friday just for that.
It's been so long.
How many of those did we order, for God's sake?
We keep ordering them every single year.
Oh, we do? I thought they were just like finding a box every year. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
that's what
we
I
still
thought
have
it
these.
was.
No, they sell out.
That's
sell
awesome.
out.
Well, it's fun. I mean, I had somebody text me on it the other day. They're like, "Hey, I bought one, but I don't really get it." And I had to explain, well, this is why that exists. That's his mugshot.
Who is this guy on there?
24% of people said they would smile for their mugshot. 56% said definitely not. 19% said maybe.
I wouldn't be smiling.
I think I'd just
Smirk.
give kind of a like, well, that
No,
was stupid,
this
or
sucks.
you got me type of look.
Do they give you a warning? Like, okay, in 1, 2, 3. I mean, I can't imagine that you get prep time from
Yeah,
this.
Waffle.
I imagine they tell you to look at the camera, though, right, Waffle?
Yeah, they say, look right here, snap. Look to that side, snap.
They don't ask you to say cheese.
Nope.
It's not a full-on photo shoot.
Nope.
It's not like when you're a little kid and they try and crack you up to get a smile, nothing like
Yeah,
that.
and then all of a sudden you go behind the camera and see how it turned out. Nah, one more.
Yeah, and judging by Nick Nolte's, they don't offer you a comb or a brush either.
I mean, I guess it would depend on what I was being arrested for.
Right.
If it was something that I knew was going to devastate my life, there's no way I'd have a smile on my face. But if it was something silly where I knew this wasn't going to go any further than this, that particular night, sure, I might give them a little cute look. Younger people say they're more apt to smile. Older people said they wouldn't. I mean, who knows? It's the stats are kind of all over the board. It reminds me of a friend of mine who always has to do something stupid. Let's go this way now. This friend of mine always has to do something cute in his driver's license photo. You know anybody like that?
No.
Yeah, I know someone that likes to wear different hats.
They never stop with the jokes with the driver's license photo, but I will give this guy credit. One of his pictures was brilliant, and I was surprised that they allowed him to do this. He wore a priest's collar for his driver's license photo.
Wow.
He did this, 20 years ago. Put on a priest collar, and they allowed him to do it. And I thought, that's kind of clever. So if you're ever in any maybe not real trouble, if ever there's a question about whether or not you should be in trouble, maybe there's a cop out there silly enough to say, well, sorry, go on your way, Father. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you, I mentioned this before. I had a credit card company that asked me what name I wanted on there, and I wanted to put doctor in front of my name, and the guy was totally cool, and I had said, I'm actually not a doctor. He's like, it doesn't matter to me whatsoever. You can put whatever you want. It's like, whatever you want, we'll put it on.
Professor?
Yeah, you can just throw it on there.
Yeah, professor or doctor or...
Father, like you said.
Sir. Sir, you could be a knight.
Lord, Duke,
Sir Josh,
Duke Joshua.
That would all be very funny. Oh, for God's sake! See Willi Myles.
Yes, sir.
Gigs coming up.
Oh my God, I'm back at your local Crooners. That's where I'm going to be, right up the street, man, at Crooners on September the 16th.
Oh wow!
For my brand new show called Know Your Limits.
Oh, look at that!
Gotcha.
Know Your Limits.
And then, again, maybe we can see one or both of you on Friday, but we always appreciate you coming in and keeping us company. It's a riot. Our listeners love it.
All right, 10 to noon?
10 to noon on Friday. Yeah.
I might scoot in. I don't think I got anything going on.
That'd be great if you would. That'd be so much fun.
We can spend way more time together than we did on the booze cruise, where I saw you and at the beginning.
You saw me before we got on the boat, and I never saw you.
No,
on the boat or exiting the boat.
It's funny how that works. It's a big boat, but
you
it ain't
got
that big.
helicoptered off. I think
I don't know. Someone threw me off the top, as far as I know. But
where are you guys at the fair?
Over by Sweet Martha Cookies by the grandstand. And,
God, everybody knows where that is.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
That's for sure.
You can't miss us. So you're both invited. Thanks very much for popping in.
Absolutely.
Since you mentioned the boat, we should mention that it's over half sold out. So if you're interested, go to 93x.com, and there's just some limited tickets remaining. We'd love to have you join us Friday, September 22nd, another 7 to 10 deal. Far too late on a Friday night, but whatever. That's just kind of how it goes. We got food from Lucky's. We got a band. It's going to be a lot of fun. So 93x.com, that's your place for tickets.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals.